What was that quote we used to say on Sega Addicts?
Oh,
Um, God, what was it? Nobody knows how to use OBS. Anybody who tells you they know how to use OBS is lying.
Yeah, probably, yeah.
very true, very true. And welcome one and all to episode 63 of the Megavision Show, the companion podcast to Megavision's magazine. Today is December the 13th, 2020. I'm Graham Cookson, the production editor of Megavisions, and joining this week, we welcome back a special guest. He is a self-professed internet hermit, but all he wants for Christmas is you. It's Nic Flair! And we have a man that needs no introduction, but I'll give him one anyway. All he wants for Christmas is his two front teeth. It's Scotty Moe, the managing editor for Megavisions. Welcome both. Welcome. Before we get into your introductions and stuff, as always, we'll be answering some of your burning questions. We have our Pics of the Week, where we'll be chatting about a series of animated podcasts on Netflix. Scotty says, "Bah humbug" with Bill Murray Scrooged, and I get festive with Emilia Clarke in Last Christmas. Plus, we have our feature discussion where we're looking at non-Christmas games that totally remind us for Christmas for no apparent reason. And as you might have noticed, we are streaming this live. So, but we won't be playing a game this time because we learnt our lesson from the last time we did this. We learned from our mistakes. But if you're joining us live today, feel free to drop in and throw any questions or comments in the chat, and we'll do our best to answer them during the show. So, join us to get one step closer to Christmas in this week's Megavision Show. So, as always, as we begin, let's discuss our week. Scotty, I'm going to start with you, my friend. How have you
Here
been
I am. Shopping for the holidays and all that good stuff. I thought I could tell a short story that's definitely a Scotty problem in today's year of our Lord and Savior Sonic 2020. I went to a retro shop that was closing. Like going out of business sale, and I don't know if it's going out of business. They just tried. They're going to retire the store or whatever. But went there. I mentioned I got a bunch of things last week, including that Dreamcast May Flash converter that lets you play. That lets you use a Dreamcast controller on a PC. I bought one of the three that they had, and then I thought I said, "Hey, Megavisions people. This is a problem we have that we need to do this thing that this thing does. Does anyone else need one?" And like 5 of you popped off. I'm like, "No, I told you there are 2 left, not enough for the entire class." and like, but then in retrospect, I was like, I can't really timely do this now because that store is an hour away. But realistically, that's like 3 hours out of my day to drive there, spend some time there, probably grab food on the way to or from, and then drive back. I was like, I can't realistically actually do this right now. So I'm like, I'm sorry, everyone. But the thing about it is, like, those converters, I was trying to find them before the marathon this year. Impossible. Nowhere online. Nothing. Nowhere. No. And, like, people are trying to spike the prices. They should be $25, but I was seeing them for, like, $50 and $80 and whatever. And there they are, like, in a glass case behind other stuff that if you know what they are, you want one. And it's like, not in 2020 does anyone need to use a Dreamcast controller on a computer, but there's the ability to do so. But I was like, I can't. Maybe if I go out there, I'll buy the other ones. But I was like, whatever. This is me just needing something I don't need or other people do. And then my mom just got a new car, and she's like, "It doesn't play CDs. I need a CD player." I'm like, "Oh, Mom." And, you know, I don't want to say, okay, well, typical mom problem, right? Because the guy who sold her the car, it's a brand new car, 2021 thing. And he's like, "Well, nobody really uses CDs anymore. You can, because everybody has their music on their iPhone." My mom's rebuttal, "I don't have an iPhone." I'm like, "Oh, Mom." So... so she's like, "So all I want for Christmas is a CD player that you can hook up. They make them. You can just hook them up to the car and just pop your CDs in." I'm like, okay. And Rachel thought she meant like a Discman, a Walkman that you just plug in somehow. And I'm like, I don't think that's what she's talking about, though, because like if you just flat out buy one of those, no matter where you set it in the car, it's going to skip. And so I'm like, I'll look into some stuff. And I found literally this thing that it looks like it should be put into a dashboard because it is just the disc just like the hole to insert a disc in and the eject button. That's it.
Right.
And then it plugs into USB. So I'm like, okay, I could probably find this. So the Wish website comes up and it's like $50. I'm like, all right, whatever, that's fine. I load up the Wish site, $80. And then I even asked in Discord, and someone in our Discord was like, I think this is what you need. Here's a video. And I looked at it, I'm like, yep, that's exactly what I've been searching for. So I go to, he's like, maybe Amazon or eBay magic can make it happen before Christmas. I go to Amazon, $200, $250 for this thing. So again, it's like, my mother needs a CD player for her car in 2021. They're not anywhere. I went to Best Buy, I went to Walmart yesterday, and all you can find is like the dashboard stuff, the Bluetooth crap. But it's like, if I were to stumble across this in a frickin' Sam Goody or something, it'd probably be sitting on a shelf for $40 because no one gives a shit. But if I try to go to the internet, just like this Dreamcast converter, everybody's like, oh, it's sold out unless you want to give me your firstborn, you know? So it's just, I thought that's a fun, like, only would I, or I guess my family, have that issue, you know? That aside, though, turning it around on another very Sega problem, this is a little thing, but going into my pickups, I got a new power strip. And not just is it a power strip, but it has USB ports, which is really cool.
Nice.
But you guys can see how the inputs are sideways. So fans of the Sega 32X Sega CD Tower of Power will know this is what you need to plug in 3 brick stupid power bases. So this is basically going to be my 32X CD strip.
Nice.
But I was stupidly excited to find that because all of them face the other way. For anyone that doesn't know what I'm talking about at all, just look at a power strip. All the outlets will be vertical if you're looking at it long ways, like up and down. While I was at Best Buy trying to find that thing for my mom, I'm like, I'm pissed. I'm not leaving this store. I've been walking around. Not only did it take me 20 minutes to find the audio corner, which is like near where they pull the forklift out because nobody's buying that crap at Best Buy anymore. And I was like staring at all these things and like taking pictures of the QR code to try to figure out what it actually is because the name's so long you can't read it on the strip. I was like, I'm gonna buy something. I hate this. I hate today already. So I found Alita Battle Angel on Blu-ray and DVD for $8. I'm like, I like that movie. Fuck this.
That's great.
So I was pretty happy about that. So yeah, hit up Best Buy, honestly, just because this is not an old movie. Like, it's relatively new. But, you know, hey, what up, TJ? What up, Iron Chef? The Trio adapter. Iron Chef X mentions in the chat the Trio adapter. That is a thing that, for anyone that doesn't know, we're a Sega-themed podcast and magazine. The Sega 32X and Sega CD hooked into the Sega Genesis, you have to use 3 power cables. That's 3 blocks like bricks. I could pick them up and show them to you, but someone did make one that is all of those combined into one brick. But I've not seen those like able to buy those for years. They're always sold out whenever you can find them. About $30. He mentions it's a French site that he found them on. I know exactly what you're talking about.
Oh, maybe I will.
I don't think it's Stone Age Gamer, but I forget where it is. But there are 2 people that make them. Yeah, exactly. Okay. It's again. I should start a feature called "Very Sega Problems" or something.
Trio adapter.
Yeah. So that aside, gonna try to end it on another more positive note. We got a bit of a mail call from I Am 8-Bit because Rachel and I ordered the lovely edition of Untitled Goose Game on the Switch and also got the vinyl.
Nice.
Wow, it's hard to show this without a reflection. The vinyl, I love the simplicity of the cover. It's just the goose honking for audio listeners, and then the case itself is just this guy. It's not open yet. Still shrink wrap, but it's got some cool stuff in it. The vinyl itself, for those that have played, you know that the music kind of matches what you're doing, and it kind of trills and flutters about on the piano. This actually is designed a certain way with grooves in it so that it never plays the same way twice. So it's kind of in relation to the game. It's a really cool idea. But this has some cool stuff in it. I don't know if I'll do an unboxing for it or not. Or I could do an unboxing live. You guys want a live unboxing?
I don't have a problem with that. If you want to do a live unboxing right now, it's up to you.
I don't have a sharp... Okay, I've got some toenail clippers I'm going to use to open it.
Oh, my nice. Hopefully use. Lovely stuff.
Let me do that. Okay, bear with me a moment, and I'll prepare myself for Scotty unboxing.
As you're preparing yourself, just to let you know, Retro Game Cave apparently has some of those Trio adapters. I don't know if you know.
Are they for sale right now?
Just trying to actually
Scotty
look.
buys more shit.
I can't actually see a sale button, but they've got... Wait,
that probably means no. You look for that. I'm gonna dress myself, and by that I just mean put sunglasses on.
Ooh, right. Oh, they've got Game Gear power supply units. This is great.
Join Scotty in that real quick.
Duo. What the hell are these Duo things? Oh my god.
I can't wear my headphones while I do this. So just wave to me when you're ready.
I'm gonna say we're ready.
Oh, that's right, son. You want some goose? You got it. An Untitled Goose Game? You might call yourself a people person? I'm gonna be a geese goose. Yeah, buddy. You like Taco Bell? We're gonna take Bell. You know what I mean? This is the lovely edition. Oh, we got millions of jokes for you. Know what else? Why did the chicken cross the road? Because the goose was too busy making his game of the year, you idiot. Yeah, let's get some of those out. You get a sticker right there. No goose to be found here. You get a map of the lovely city that you're going to be invading. You got to get your stuff going. Look at that town. Everybody's going there, going here, going there, going everywhere. And then you got to make sure to check out that reverse box art. And we got a tasty Switch game, so we got to make sure. All right, Untitled Goose Game. Oh.
Brilliant.
How'd that
so,
whenever,
perfect.
Whenever you do,
I love it.
Whenever you do Scotty Mo, I remember you telling me that you had a manager or whoever who asked if you could do Scotty Mo in a GameStop, and you were like, "No."
Oh yeah. Because
that's a bad idea.
Graham, you'll have to get me that video so I can put it on my YouTube. That game tastes salty. No, my boss at one point, the boss I had at that time, because manager, the turnaround for managers in any retail, but she was like, you got a channel, because that was very monotone around her, because I kind of hate her guts. I was very monotone and very much like if you've ever seen Bob's Burgers, how a lot of his responses are like, like a lot of that, and she hated it. But she was familiar with my unboxings, and she's like, you got to channel some of that into your salesman pitches and stuff. I'm like, no, because I'm like, I'm gonna. I was like, no, it's the same as like what Steve Martin said about most of his characters in movies. Nobody wants to be friends with that guy. He's an asshole. So I don't know where the box art went. Oh, there it is. So it does have a cool map, and the instruction manual is like a plaza, like a little coupon book or sales book of it. So,
ooh, nice.
Yeah, Untitled Goose Game is a great game. It was my game of that year that it came out. I think that was just last year, but
just last year.
I know of Untitled Goose Game, and I've seen the artwork and stuff. I have no idea what the game is, though. Can you quickly just describe what you kind of do in it, or?
I'll describe it as I open up the vinyl as well.
Okay.
The game itself, you play as a goose, and what you do is you have a honk button, you have a grab button, and you have a button to open up your wings, but it serves no purpose. It doesn't make you run faster. You can't actually fly or anything like that. But you just go around messing with people. That's it. You have to get a farmer to try to nail a sign down, and he hits his thumb. You have to form a picnic. You have to put by stealing his food and putting it on a blanket. You steal things and move them around and just cause general hell for the human race.
There's
wow,
the level where you just bully a child. That's my favorite one.
Yeah, it's pretty good. Good stuff.
So there are objectives in the game that you have to do, and you just do them.
There.
Okay. Wow. Oh, that is
So
cool. That's
aside from
nice
this being
mix.
like a poop brown vomit color,
Yeah,
here's the soundtrack.
that's cool.
Yeah, what color is that going for?
I don't know. I don't see how you guys
Yeah,
can see there are some colors in it.
For the audio listeners, yeah, it's kind of like a browny, orangey color, but with like different streaks of other colors in, like reds and yellows and greens.
It
and
looks
blues, I think
like-
they are.
It looks like one of those lunch meats. Those ones
One
with
of
the-
those lunch meats.
It looks
Welcome
like a
back to one
fake-
of those lunch meats.
It looks like one of those joke vomits you get, like, you know, those
Yeah.
rubberized
Yeah, it
joke
really
vomits,
does.
but really flattened. Like someone's just.
Oh, I
turned it into
cannot
a
read
massive piece.
any of the tracks on here. It's all in French.
Nice.
I don't know if you guys can see that.
Yeah. I did show this game to a friend of mine, and she actually hated it. She was just so
Mm.
mad.
The controls are not great.
yeah.
I will admit that. But they recently also announced that there's a big add-on coming out that's going to make it 2-player. Rachel and I are fucking pumped for that.
Ooh, interesting. Okay.
Yeah, it's such a fun game. When her friend was over from out of state, they sat down and played it and ended up playing the whole game. It's not that long, but it's good. There's definitely replay value. Untitled Goose Game, everybody.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Oh, and this is another also worth pointing out. I Am 8-Bit does have an eco-friendly version that they put out. We did not get that one because we, I guess, hate the planet, but they have that.
Oh, eco. Okay, eco. That's interesting. What does that mean?
Mhm.
Just less packaging? You just get a.
Yeah, it's made of It's made of recycled cardboard instead of plastic.
Okay, that's cool. That's cool.
Yeah.
Iron Chef in the chat has said they take the goose feces and flattened it into an LP. That's what it looks
Hell
like
yeah.
on the vinyl. Yep, that's basically what they've done. That's a good description. Love it. Yeah,
Sorry,
just a
I
quick.
just took over the podcast.
That's okay. With the Retro Game Cave, it says it's coming back in January. That trio block thing, but
Cool. Well, I got that
apparently.
power strip now.
Apparently, Retro Game Supply is doing it for €22, so check that out.
It's
Nice.
about $30.
Okay.
Yeah.
Can check that out later. Nice. So is that it? Is that for your week?
Oh, that's it. I'm winded.
That's it. You're done. Lovely. It's Nick. Buddy,
Yeah.
welcome back to the show. Thank you for joining us,
Thank
especially on our live show, you brave
Yeah.
soul. And how have you been doing? What have you been up to?
Yeah, I've been good. Thank you for having me. Not just, life. Last
You
time
about
I
to
was
read a
on
poem?
here. Oh no, God no. Yeah, last time I was on here, I was talking about fitness boxing and some games that were coming out
Oh, yeah.
for the Switch.
got
It's
that
funny
demo.
because I was like, that was only like a week ago, but no, that was like 2 months ago.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's been a while, friend.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's crazy. Time is super fake. But in that vein, Fitness Boxing 2 has come out, and I bought it, and I'm enjoying it. I will say, I am annoyed that the progress from Fitness Boxing 1 doesn't quite carry over. It carries over like stats, like height, weight, and any progress that you made in that game as far as your fitness, but it does not carry over your technique. So
Okay.
I've had to restart learning like basic punches from the scratch. So like my first week's worth of workouts were all like jabs and straights, and I'm like so bored. But they do add some features that I was really happy with, like Fitness Boxing 1's not ducks, but the steps mechanics were super buggy in terms of detection.
Sorry, since I just unboxed Untitled Goose Game, you said ducks, and I thought the game threw ducks at you.
That's that.
It's a mini
the
game.
ducking mechanic and the damn it, I can't unhear it.
Sorry.
Some of the motions, like dodges, guards, and that sort of thing, had buggy detection, and you can
Okay.
actually turn it on to auto-complete those. So for me, the sidestepping motions were always the ones that would not detect. So I just set that to auto-detect, and it should prevent me from having like rage-induced boxing um, from missing and messing up my combo. So I'm looking forward to seeing that. I haven't gotten around to playing Empire of Sin, but I'm looking forward to giving it a shot. I did end up trying the new Spider-Man game, the Miles Morales one, and I actually also completed it, and I was shocked that it was $50.
How long is it?
Really short.
Wow.
Oh.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah, it's like it doesn't make any it doesn't hide the fact that it knows that it's short because there's a bunch of things that are locked behind New Game Plus, and it tells you that from the start. It's like, hey, these abilities and this skill tree will unlock after New Game Plus. But I wouldn't say
what's new. Oh, is that like you complete the game, but then you get another mode you can play through? Okay.
Yeah, you start back over. And
okay.
It's interesting. It's if you've played the Spider-Man PS4 version, you kind of know the basic mechanics. Like pretty much those are unchanged. You play exclusively as Miles Morales. It replaces a lot of like instead of Taskmaster challenges, you do the Spider-Man challenges where Peter is giving you like obstacle courses to run through and different things like that.
Okay.
And then it adds, of course, the Miles Morales exclusive powers. So using his venom to shock things or his invisibility, which is great because you would have those base missions where you were trying to take down a gang hideout. And it would always really annoy me that it would sometimes mix stealth and combat objectives to fully complete the base. But it's actually really easy now because you can slip in and out of invisibility. So if you say, if it says do 10 stealth takedowns and you mess up at 5, you don't have to restart the whole thing just to get that over. You can just go into stealth, hide out, and then try and complete those stealth objectives again before you go back into combat. It always did really annoy me, and I still hate that it does mix the stealth and combat objectives in hideouts. I wish it would focus on one or the other, but I mean it's fine. At least I don't have to restart the whole thing to do it.
I kind of wonder if I hated the stealth missions in Spider-Man. I wonder if they put those in there just knowing they would do it with Miles Morales and that it would make more sense with him. Because those like that and the Mary Jane stuff just kind of just sucked.
Really?
It did. It really, in my opinion, it didn't break up the gameplay. In my opinion, it brought it to a halt.
Oh yeah, it did slow it down, and for sure, like looking back on it, I like the stealth missions, but I really love stealth games. So it kind of Spider-Man based stuff I enjoyed, but the cloaking powers definitely make it a lot better.
Okay, so would you say it's actually a really good game, even though it's quite short, or what do you think? Like,
if you purchase the PS5 Miles Morales, you get Spider-Man PS4 and PS5 for free. You don't get that the other way around. So if you haven't played Spider-Man PS4, but like for whatever reason, if you haven't played Spider-Man PS4 like Spider-Man and haven't gotten it, get it because it's an amazing value. Because then it's the entire Spider-Man PS4 game, Miles Morales, all running on the PS5. If you really like Miles Morales, I don't know, get it. I guess it adds some side missions. There's a lot of fun visual Easter eggs and like custom animations and stuff. And the character sounds very distinct. He's not Peter Parker light. He's like awkward and still trying to find himself as Spider-Man. So it's interesting.
So if I put Miles Morales for the PS4, do I also get the PS4 Spider-Man as well?
No,
you don't, because it says on the PS4 if you buy this, you get the upgrade to PS5 version of Miles Morales.
Yes,
but I assume so. You're saying you can't get.
No, it's bizarre. Like they had a little chart to explain how to purchase it, but basically, if you get the Spider-Man,
they had a chart to explain how to buy something. It's never a good sign.
The Spider-Man PS5 Miles Morales gives you the remaster of Spider-Man for the PS4 on the PS5.
Right.
You can just buy it vanilla on PS4. It doesn't give you any side, and there's no way to purchase or upgrade just from PS4 Spider-Man to the Miles Morales edition.
That's cool. That's
Right.
the seat I'm in. Awesome. Thanks, Sam.
Yeah, because I just for clarity, Nick, I literally just got a PS4 like a few weeks ago, and only really just started playing it. But I was like going through the store, and I saw, I saw this PS4 Spider-Man because I've never played it, because I've never had a PS4 before. I was like, oh, I might get this, and I saw Miles Morales next to it. I was like, oh, you can get that on the PS4 as well. Awesome! But I didn't buy them.
No.
But that's good to know, because I do plan to get a PS5, hopefully not too far in the distant future. So. I mean, I can hold out. I'm not obsessed with Spider-Man. I don't need to play it right now.
Yeah.
I do like the games. But,
It's a lot of fun. If you haven't played the Spider-Man PS4 in any version, it's like a return to the days of the Spider-Man 2 game. The swinging is too much fun. The side missions are great. I liked it a lot.
Spider-Man 2 was, I still think, one of the best superhero games I've ever played. Like, hands down. It's just so good. It's if you do feel like you are.
That's the majority opinion, I think.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So that's good to hear. So anything else? Anything else you've been picking up or doing or buying or whatever?
Just really briefly, I tried Cyberpunk. This PC that I'm on can't run it.
Okay.
The PlayStation 4, I've seen enough videos to know that I'm not even going to give it a shot. Like there's texture popping and visual things. I just helped my brother build a new gaming PC, and I was just hanging out with him. He had it on medium settings, and it was still quite pretty. But he was in this section that had so many bugs, where all the trees that you could see, all the trees, when he would turn his head, would briefly appear, like no matter where.
Nice. That's some N64 graphics.
Yeah. So he was like, "Yeah, it's not so bad in the city, because in the city there's not really trees." But he just happened to be in the Pacifica area, which is south of the city, and it has all these palm trees. So every time he was turning his head, all of these blotches would appear, and I was like, "What are those?" And he's like, "Yeah, they're palm trees."
Damn. I heard about the glitch of the trees all appearing very tiny, like populating shrunk.
Oh wow!
I've heard plenty. I'm super bummed out, but I heard they probably should have just pushed it back even more. But I'm bummed out, but at the same time, I'm not. I was literally looking forward to 3 games this year: Doom Eternal, Last of Us 2, and Cyberpunk. I just started Last of Us 2 like 2 weeks ago, so I'm not going to touch Cyberpunk anytime soon. So hopefully by the time I get to it, they've got some stuff patched out.
So I've got friends
Iron
who...
Chef. Sorry.
So was that?
Iron Chef addresses possibly an issue that your brother was having there, Nick. He said 7200 RPM HDD fixes a percentage of the issues.
So he's running an SSD. So I don't know if that actually makes it better or worse.
In theory, that should be better, because SSDs do have a faster transfer rate. I don't know. So yeah, I've got a group of friends who all have the new Xbox Series X, and they've all said that Cyberpunk's been running completely fine for them. Even though I've read lots of reports about the Xbox One, PS4 being really buggy as shit and stuff. I hadn't really heard about problems with PS5, PC, or Xbox Series X. So, but you're saying the PC version for some people is not so good.
Well, I think the consensus across the board is if you've got a sophisticated enough PC, it works fine with some visual issues. I know that the PS4 and Xbox One versions, the big issue is that the hardware is not up to date with the software that they're going for. So like they have to downscale the graphics a lot, which ruined the mood. Like specifically, there was this intro side-by-side screenshot where you're sitting in a car, and you're looking at this guy who's like talking to you, giving you missions. And in the way that it's supposed to look, it's like dark. There's mood lighting. You can see smoke. And then in the version that's able to run on PS4 and Xbox One, like all of the lighting is flat, and you kind of look like you almost look like you're in a PS3 game. It's kind of weird.
Oh, wow. Okay. Yeah.
But yeah.
That's a game. I mean, I've been kind of semi-excited about Cyberpunk, but it's also a game that I've quashed any hype about it in myself because I'm like, there's no way this game is going to be as good as everyone expects, at least not at launch.
Yeah.
Because I think there's so much to it.
I just want to play as Keanu Reeves. I heard he's basically the game, so that's why I'm still excited for it.
Exactly. Like, I don't watch any of the trailers. I didn't see any gameplay other than when I watched my brother and tried it a little bit myself. So I'm still mostly positive. I don't know what it's about or what's going on, but I saw Keanu Reeves, and as soon as Keanu Reeves popped up on the screen, I was like, dude. How much of the game is he in? He's like, oh yeah, he's in like all of it. And I was like,
okay, awesome.
You play as him. I did not expect that.
Oh,
that's awesome.
I didn't realize that.
Throw down with Keanu and be Keanu. Just
that is
my dreams.
Cool.
Yeah, nice. I won't say anything for fear of spoiling you, Nick, but I saw a trailer that was more Keanu prominent, and I looked at Rachel. I'm like, this looks so stupid, but I don't care how the game is going to be because this is happening, and I can't say anything, but yeah, it's just very Keanu, and it's great that he is in it how he is in it. So
awesome.
It's cool.
Awesome.
Nice.
So the last things, I actually realized what my pickup was. For Black Friday, there's a lot of the shopping going around, and I would need to spend too much to rebuild my PC from the ground up. But what I did want was a new chair. And so this chair that I have is the Secret Labs Omega chair. Yeah. So it's got like a little lumbar pillow. It's really nice. The old one was kind of squeaky and wriggly, but this is especially considering the work from home.
How comfy is it? Is it really good? Or
it's firm and supportive. Which at first I was like, oh man, I spent like a few $100s on this chair. It's like not soft and cushy, but I actually don't feel like I'm hurting when I get up and get out of the chair. And that's what they talk about on their website. It's like, it's not a super soft chair, but it's supportive in the right ways, and it's solid, and it'll last you.
Because I was genuinely looking at that chair when I got this chair. I got this chair just when first lockdown happened earlier this year. And because I just needed a new chair. I had like a basic old PC chair. And I was like, if I'm going to be stuck at home for months, I want a better chair. And this is not... Exactly. So those chairs I thought were too expensive for I was like, I'm not sure I could really afford that. So I got another gaming chair, which is a bit of a cheaper brand. It's better than my old chair. It is quite comfy. But yeah, sometimes after like 8 hours of working, I'll get up and I'm like... Yeah, I'm kind of, even though it's kind of soft and cushy, you do feel I'm good, but I'm not super comfy. I don't know, like you don't feel like you're getting all the support you want. So yeah, that's interesting to hear. Maybe I do need to stop being a Scrooge and pay that little extra.
So the Black Friday deal on it cut down the cost a lot. Not a ton, but enough for me to go from like I can't justify this purchase to being like, well, it's a long-term investment. I'll have it for a while.
That's like fair. Shoes.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, perfect example.
Do you want to say how much you paid for it? Because I am looking at those. Like, you don't have to if you don't want to.
Yeah, so the Black Friday,
or what they go for, I guess.
So they typically go for about $400.
Oh boy!
And the the Black Friday deal gave you $75 off. So after taxes and all of that, it ended up being like $350.
That's pretty good.
Yeah.
That's one. I'm sorry. I love you guys. I love America, but one thing that drives me nuts is that you guys don't have taxes included in your price. Like in pretty much Europe and everywhere.
Crazy too.
You have your price. It's like this is £400. That's what you pay for it. You don't like, I need to add in like 20% or whatever. Like, so I've got to.
Well, but then the marketing wouldn't work for saying something's $99.99. That looks way better than 4,000 zeros.
Well, and that's what messes me up is that like I was like, okay, so with the discount, I'm only spending really like $300, and then I loaded up and it's like $350. I was like, wait, what the heck? That's not a discount. But then pretty much the Black Friday is that it gets rid of those taxes and fees and all that. So I'm just like,
it's like free shipping and that's it basically.
Yeah, well, and so the other thing is that this is the 2020 edition, the one that they came out with for this year. And when I ordered it for Black Friday, they were like, hey, there's a big back order. realistically, you are not going to get this chair until 2021. And I was like, fine, I'm not like in desperate need of a chair. I'll wait it out. And then the next day I got an alert. They're like, hey, your order has been filled. You're on back order. Be patient. And I was like, okay, well, they're telling me. I'm good with it. And then a few days later, they're like, hey, so your chair has arrived. And I was like, excuse me? My estimated shipping date was January 2021.
That's service.
But,
That's pretty cool.
it's here. So
Nice,
it is what
well
it
done.
is.
Oh, excellent.
And this is where I'll end it. It's not much of a pickup, but I was reorganizing and cleaning my closet the other day. And I thought I had lost this a long time ago, but it turns out that I had locked it away with other important things like my
for the listeners and viewers, what is this? What are we looking at?
This is the soundtrack for D4 Dark Dreams Don't Die, which is a game that I play with regularity on my streams, despite the fact that it's like a 4-hour game. I've played it like 5 times on stream.
Hell yeah.
100%.
Nice.
I love this soundtrack. I love its creator, Swery. I've talked about him before on this podcast. But this is actually a precious gift to me from Scotty.
Hey.
Yeah. It's autographed.
By Scotty or
no?
Yeah, no, I signed it. Yeah, I made that game and soundtrack. Yeah, it's Silver Sharpie there. I was at PAX East when I used to frequent PAX East, and this was the year the game came out, I guess, or was about to, or whatever. There's not really a physical version of it. And so I'm just like wandering around, and I see some short Asian guy signing stuff at the booth. And I'm like, I think Nick likes this game. I'll go up, and it was like, buy the oh, good. You want to go ahead and ban that person, Graham, in the chat? Oh, you can't. I'll get it. Don't worry. Somebody's plugging stuff. Anyway, I walk up to this booth and I see this guy signing stuff. I'm like, oh, soundtrack's like $10, whatever. I'll grab one for myself. I'll do this too. And the guy was just standing there next to it signing stuff. I was like, oh, here you go. He didn't speak a lick of English, I don't think. And he just nodded and was very appreciative. I shook his hand and I was like, thanks for that. And I walk away, and then I think one of my buddies was like, Scott, that's the creator of the game. I'm like, oh, cool. I think Nick will really like this then. Like, it didn't faze me because I literally only knew of the game through Nick, and that it was only on Connect at that time or something crazy like that.
PC
so
as well.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
But there's a picture somewhere, it's probably saved on my old computer or something, of when Nick receives that, and it's one of the happiest I've seen him, where he's like holding it like a little boy.
That's brilliant. I love that.
I was in like John Cena attire. Specifically, like I was trying to get picked up from the airport dressed up like John Cena. And
I almost don't understand what that means. I know who John Cena is, but what? John Cena attire?
So I had on shorts, like jean shorts.
Right. Okay.
Tennis shoes, and then his shirt, the one that says "Rise Above Hate." I had the hat, and I had like the wristbands.
Okay, I can't
like,
get you.
Exactly like John Cena. And it was a good time. But I remember when he gave it to me, I was excited. Like, he snapped a picture, and I was like asking questions, and he was like, yeah, so the guy was there, I just had him sign it. And I was like, you met Swery? And he's like, yeah, I mean, I don't know, it was some Asian guy. It was either Swery or someone, I don't know. And I was I was beside myself because he was just like, I don't know. It would be the
That's
same.
That's what PAX is, though, because PAX is just so crazy that you'll just have devs walking around the floor, and it's so congested, like Comic-Con, you won't even see them at first unless you know who they are or something. Yeah. Like, I remember walking by before Evolve was out, and they were trying to pitch it as an esports thing. Randy Pitchford and Cliffy B were playing the game against each other, and like they were trying to do like shoutcasters and stuff. And I'm like, fucking whatever. And I keep walking, not realizing at first that I just walked by, like, at the time, two of the most important people in current day game dev.
Yeah.
So seeing this guy like sign stuff, I was just like, whatever. He probably did the art. I don't know.
Whoever this guy is.
Yeah.
Oh, that's so cool. Just very quickly in the chat, just Iron Chef just mentioning about the Cyberpunk thing with the hard drive speed. Apparently SSDs should be fine. So maybe the game is just that buggy. Also, TJ Kitsune says, Nick is very brave, but why is he sitting in the dark? So, yeah.
Do you want me to demonstrate why? Like I can real
Sure.
quick because when I turn this light on, it blows out the light everywhere. So I think people would
I
rather.
can see your guinea pig though.
Yeah. She's she's
guinea
out.
pig. Oh,
Yeah.
Well, if it's dark, it probably guinea pigs are nocturnal, aren't they? They come out. Was that hamsters? Wait, I don't know.
It's
Okay.
mostly hamsters.
Most
Okay.
I mean,
rodents, I don't know.
There we
she's
go.
not a rodent. Oh, don't get me started on it.
Uh,
This will devolve into guinea pig talk.
that's for the next show. Well, we'll do that next time. Yeah. Okay, that's cool. That's also good stuff there. So moving on to me, I'll try and be as fast as possible. I have an apology to make to any Megavisions fans and stuff. My Arcade Racing Legends review is still not up. It's been 3 weeks or 4 weeks. It's nearly a month basically since I got the game, did my unboxing video. I recorded the game, I played the game, recorded it, and I still haven't got the review up. I've written it and everything. I may just have to put the written review up first before I can get down to doing the video editing. Just work has been insane. And yeah, and it was actually just throwing it out there, it was actually my birthday yesterday. So I just had like a day of not doing things. I didn't want to do anything on my birthday. So
Happy belated.
yeah. Thank you very much. Thank you, sir. Yes, that was not me requesting any shout outs, but yeah. So yeah, maybe this week I will just put up the written review and then get to the video review as soon as I can, to be fair. Other stuff. I've really got myself into the Fear of the Walking Dead. Have you guys seen Fear of the Walking Dead?
What's The Walking Dead? I've never heard of that, and I also live in a cave.
But, okay, yes, The Walking Dead, but Fear the Walking Dead. The one that no one seems to talk about.
Because it's everywhere. What?
Oh, okay, over here, no one seems to care about Fear the Walking Dead. Like The Walking Dead.
No,
oh my God.
I'm kidding. That show should have ended 5 years ago.
Okay,
not Fear, but the regular one.
Right, yeah. But the thing is, Fear the Walking Dead. It started off okay. I was like, oh, this is fine. It's not amazing. Then it suddenly got really good. Like season 2 and season 3, I was like, this is a great show. I'm enjoying this more than the original. And then they did something. Like with one episode, they tried to make it like a really epic episode about one of the characters, like basically being a hero and stuff. And I was just sitting there going, none of this makes sense. Like Kate was loving it. She was like sort of getting emotional and crying at points and stuff because she loves like a good emotional storyline. And I was like, no, I'm not. This is bullshit. This doesn't make sense right now because essentially stuff's like a big epic thing. I don't want to spoil it unless you want to spoil it. I don't think. It will not be a spoiler.
Chad, sound off if you care about Fear of the Walking Dead spoilers. I know I don't. Someday I'll catch up with Walking Dead. I love the books, but yeah. I'll give it a couple seconds, and you can keep talking about it. I'll say for myself while we're waiting for a response. Like I got into Walking Dead late, and I got the omnibus or whatever it's called with the game, the Telltale like collector's edition, and that was my introduction to it. And then I borrowed all the DVDs from roommates, and then I watched it. I binged season 1 and 2, and then 3 I was watching on a weekly basis, and I honestly could not keep up because of how slow that show is, that I couldn't wait another week. My buddy AJ, who some of us will know, he honestly would watch it fast-forwarded with the subtitles on and just unpause it when there was actual talking, because a lot of that show is just people. It's like Lost. A lot of that show is just people looking at each other.
Yeah, that's why. No. I was going to say that's why it's my GM, but I can't even pretend.
So, a couple of things. Tornado Jones says, happy yearly reminding that you're old, Graham. Thank you, dude. And Red Jaguar, hey, Red Jaguar, thanks for joining. He says, hold off, because he may watch it someday. So, I'll try and describe this in the vaguest way possible. It shouldn't ruin the show for you, because if you've ever seen a Walking Dead show, you'll vaguely know it's about zombies and stuff, and the predicaments they get in. Essentially, something happens in an episode which leads to some problems. Every decision the main people or the group that you're following makes is the wrong decision. And I can see that from the out. I'm like, why are they doing this? Because this doesn't make any sense. It then leads to big problems. And there's a point where some people are stuck in one area and some people are stuck in another area. Stuff's going down. There's like millions of zombies around them. And then somehow the group that's kind of stuck gets split up, and some of them leave and some of them can't leave. And then the other group who's like, they're trying to leave and they can't leave either. But basically something happens where some of the group can leave, some of them can't leave. But the way they make it out is like this emotional thing where like one of the people becomes like tries to martyr themselves and like, you know, save everybody else. But I'm like, no. This doesn't make sense because those people have left, but they're saying these people can't leave, even though they could leave at any point. Like they're like, oh no, we're surrounded by zombies. But I'm like, dude, you can they're like in a car and they're like, oh no, we're surrounded by zombies. Like, dude, you've got like 5 minutes before those zombies get to you. You can drive forward right now. But they don't, and I was just sitting there going, "This is just." And I've watched a few episodes after. I've watched like 6 episodes after that now. I'm like, this show is not as good as now. I'm just angry now. They ruined that one episode. I'm like, God damn it, screw it.
That's what happens with.
I mean, if we ever want to have a show, oh, sorry, Nick, you were lagging for me, I guess a bit. I didn't mean to interrupt you. Go ahead.
Oh, I was just gonna say that's what happens with the like drama based. Tension shows where it's just like when you see something dumb that shouldn't have happened and it like makes no sense as to why it happened, it brings you right out of it. And that's what happened.
Totally.
Lost.
Totally, yeah. And so,
yeah.
So just for the chat, I am talking about Fear the Walking Dead, not the original Walking Dead series. There's a bit of confusion there. We could
have a whole show about shows that just dropped off so hard because of one bad decision or whatever. I won't go into it, but this might even enrage the chat to start talking about it. I know it would if I didn't know I was going to say this. Heroes.
Yeah, the end.
Oh.
Heroes.
Yep.
Man, no show got killed by the writer's strike like Heroes did. Like that got fucked.
Man.
Yeah. The shame.
This could be a whole other show to talk about this stuff, but there's one show that I do think survived the writer's strike okay, and that was The American Office. They did it in a way, they managed to do stuff with their episodes that kept it going, and every other show I watched at the time just died. I'm like, oh god damn it.
This is the last time I'll interrupt you, Graham, I promise, but Red Jaguar says, wasn't Heroes bad from the beginning? I don't remember it ever being good. No, I don't want to hype it up too much, but honestly the first season is some of the best like superhero related writing I've ever seen for a drama.
It's really good. I think season 2 was still really strong, and then just started to.
It's as strong as it can
halfway through seasons 2 where you can. It's like night and day. It's like when that show lost. What was it? Homeland or something? Where they lost the funding and they had to start just shooting like poor CGI for like part of the episode. It's just it's the equivalent because it's like things are happening and they're written well, and then all of a sudden it just like goes into crayon mode, and the same with the writers, where it's like people just start doing things and you're like, what is going on?
Oh wow. But I'd say Heroes started off brilliantly. Like it's just an amazing show. Other than that, I watched the new Mulan 2020 on Disney Plus.
Nice.
I mean, I don't know. I don't know what to say about that. I think it's got the decent story, but it's an established story. It's been around for hundreds of years because it's actually based on an old poem, like Chinese poem and legends and stuff. There's some bits in it that I think are pretty cool. And then it's also at the same time one of the worst movies I've ever seen in my life. I was halfway through, I was just like, I don't even know if I'm enjoying this. Like, I think that's cool. But then I'm like, this is terrible as well. This is just so bad. So my advice, if you really want to watch Mulan, watch the Disney cartoon version, because that's just fun. Or if you want to see a live action version, watch the 2009 live action starring Zhao Wei and JC Chan, because that was actually a decent movie. But no one knows about it. It was not made by Disney, and there's no singing in it or anything. It's just a live action movie, and it's more about like the military and fighting and stuff, which is cool.
What makes it so bad?
Oh, so if you don't know, the live action one, unlike other Disney live actions, this hasn't got no singing in it. It's not like a musical like their normal stuff. Yeah. And which I feel like you lose stuff from Mulan, because there's some great songs in that. Although they do play some of the music to one of the songs at one point. So you kind of in the background, you can hear some of the music going on, and that's cool. There's some elements to it I quite like about the story, but they've added in some new characters. there's a whole thing about Mulan's not just a person. There's like some people in the world who have chi, so they can do basically crouching tiger, hidden dragon stuff basically going on. Like she can do some cool flips and like kick a spear into someone and stuff like that. But she's
Disney cannot make a kung fu movie.
Yeah, that's what this is trying to be. This is trying to be a straight up kung fu movie in my eyes, but it's not doing it very well because I'm a massive fan of martial arts movies. I grew up on Jackie Chan movies and stuff. I love that genre. But yeah, this is. And I don't understand if this was actually filmed in Chinese originally, because most of the actors do speak English. There's a lot of Asian actors in it who do speak English, and they do appear to be speaking English. And there's a whole other group of actors who seem to be lip synced. I'm like, was this filmed in Chinese originally? Because these people seem to be speaking English. It's all synced up, and these people seem to be like, "Yes, I am here to save the girl." And it's just like, what is going on with this?
Yes, we have to save you. Get out of the village now.
Yeah, basically, yeah. Yeah, I don't know. It's just a mix of really great ideas and really some genuinely quite good stuff, and then just terrible bits. I'm just like, wow. Oh man.
I'm just happy you didn't pay the extra 30 or whatever stupid.
Yeah, I'm glad. Yeah, if you've got Disney Plus, I think in the future I'm just going to wait for anything. So yeah, I'm glad I didn't pay that extra money. It's now available for free on Disney Plus. So yeah, but.
At no additional charge. Yeah. A lot of people in Hollywood really don't understand or respect the way that movies are made in China, which is why, like, anytime you see them ape it, it's really bad. And it's just like, it's basically like conflicting ideals and ideologies on how to make a film. So I've seen it, like, what was it? The Forbidden Kingdom?
Mm-hmm.
Which is hyped up as a marriage of the final, like, co-starring of Jackie Chan and Jet Li.
Mm-hmm.
There's so many Western influences in that movie because it's Hollywood driven that make the parts that are not, they don't allow Jackie Chan and Jet Li to just take over, really, really bad. So
I like that movie, but I am just a massive Jackie Chan fan, so I've probably just got a soft spot for him.
Well, yeah, I mean, anytime Jackie Chan and Jet Li are doing things like fighting, it's fine. It's good even. But it's like the forced comedy, and specifically like the white kid going around doing things, Jet Li peeing on Jackie Chan, like, that stuff's not
happens.
Great.
Yeah.
Well, now you got me.
Great story. That's what everyone wants to see. Yeah, that's a whole other website to go to. Yeah, I get what you mean. Yeah, some of these Asian, some sort of Asian movies are influenced by Hollywood directly. It's just, I feel like if they had the budget from Disney and like Hollywood, and then just went and said, "Hey, you make a movie. It's your culture, it's your essence. Please."
Oh, that's not going to happen.
Well, no, it'd never happen. But if they could do that, that'd be bloody amazing.
Meanwhile, Transformers are the hottest thing over there. So.
Yeah. Oh, wow. But other very quickly, I got a couple of pickups. They are digital versions, but with my PS4, I decided to finally pick up Journey, which is a game that I wanted to play on the PS3, but I never bothered to actually get it on the PS3 for some reason. I played the demo on the PS3. I was like, this game's great. I'm really enjoying this. But the demo is like mega short. It's like 5 minutes long. I was like, oh, this is cool. If you don't know, you're kind of this. I don't know how the best way to explain it. You're kind of a monk type person. You're just going through like a deserty world. There's no talking or anything like that. It's just literally all like there's music and it's like really lovely flowing. The way it flows, like you're not told to do anything. You just sort of go through and you work out. Oh, I need to go up these stairs, or I need to. You kind of unlock these abilities to sort of jump and like sort of hover in the air a little bit, and you work out how to do that. It's just all very natural in the way it flows, but your journey is from the starting point in desert to this like massive mountain you see in the distance at the start. And it's a beautiful game, beautiful music. It's really cool. And you can finish it in 2 hours, which is basically what I did. So like I played it like 2 lunchtimes. I was like, lunchtime, I'll quick play on this. Second lunchtime, I finished the game. That was great though. I really enjoyed it. So I'm highly recommend it.
Unfortunately, a lot of the joy from that game came from people learning about it through body language by playing co-op online. And I don't mean to diminish it or your experience with it, Graham, but unfortunately, like it's going to be pretty hard to replicate that at this point with that game.
Yeah.
So there's a 2-player mode, was there?
Whoa, yeah. Welcome to Journey, Graham.
Wait, what do you mean there's a 2-player mode? I'm pretty sure it's mostly a 2-player game.
It's a single player game.
It's very cooperative.
Wait.
Yeah.
Are we thinking of the same?
Cooperatively driven.
But the game is you're just one guy going through on a journey. Like
On a desert?
Yeah.
In a desert.
Yeah.
It's definitely a 2-player game, man.
Wow. This has enlightened me in new ways. So if someone else has it, can we play it together? Who's got PS4 and wants to play that with me? I did not know. There's no indication to me playing the game that it's a 2-player game, because at the start it's just a screen that says "New Journey." Press X, and then you're playing.
What it was is you stumble across people in the world.
Yeah, okay, yeah. You do.
There's no verbal discussion between you.
Mm-hmm.
It's very similar. It has a similar feel to like Eco or Shadow.
Wait. So the people you meet in the game, are they just actual other players or something?
Yeah, they're
I don't know. I played like 5 minutes of it.
I thought they were just AI. I thought there's randomly these AI people you meet.
Nope.
Oh, that's interesting, because the way it looks like at the end it tells you the people you've met. I just assumed you get to find other people. But wait, no. Hold on a second.
It's not solely 2-player. It's not solely 2-player or solely 1-player. But the sections where you are connected with somebody, like it's a big thing in the game. The nonverbal communication and using the scarf and all that.
No, because here's the thing. There's a couple of. So I actually saw some of the gameplay footage before I got the game. So I was thinking, should I actually get this game? So I watched the YouTube video. There's a bit where you first meet a guy in the desert area. That is exactly the same stuff happened to me as someone else did on YouTube. Like in that bit, they met the person, were doing exactly the same stuff. It was very much seemed like that was AI stuff. There's another bit later in the game where I was with someone and the character died, but that was a very much set up scene, because a monster came down and like hit us both. Like we were trying to hide under this thing, and it got it, and he died, and I was just me on my own. And there's another bit where we meet one of the guys and they're just stuck in the ground, they can't move. And I was like, okay, so I mean, to me, it just seems very much like a single player game. I'm not saying you're wrong that there's no two player game. It seems like those bits were staged; they were not.
I will have to look at it specifically. I know that when it came out, that there were people talking about how it affected their perception of meeting strangers online. Because there was this one piece I remember where somebody was like, I got to the end of the section where both of us knew that we wouldn't be able to go any further, and rather than go through, we just kind of stood there and hung out and just like pressed the chime button back and forth to prolong just hanging out with each other for a little bit.
Okay, yeah, Red Jaguar saying there is multiplayer bits, but you can play it single player. Yeah, that's really weird. Like,
yeah.
Okay. Well, my experience as single player was brilliant. I loved it. So, I mean, if you can play it multiplayer, that's even better, I guess. Yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't realize apparently it's on Windows as well and iOS. Okay.
Did not know on iOS.
So, yeah, as a single player game, it's great. As 2-player, if you can still play it 2-player, then yeah, I'd love to do that go at some point. And I know we've gone on for quite a while. I've also picked up Greedfall, which is a game I've actually been interested in for a little while, because it just came out on Game Pass, basically. So have you guys heard of Greedfall?
Nope.
No.
So it's on Xbox One, PS4. I believe it's also on Series X and PS5. It's a open world RPG game, but it's got emphasis on like building up relationship with factions and stuff. I'm quite early in the game. I've got through. There's like a whole opening section bit where you're in this like port city town, and the whole idea is the world has got this illness. Well, it's quite topical actually. There's an illness in the world that is like killing people basically, and like a bit. Yeah, I think it's I'm going to say worse than COVID. Sorry, that's the wrong way to say things. That's a real world thing. In this, like, people get kind of like their skin starts to like get really bad. Their eyes start to go as well. So it's kind of like you'll physically get more deformed as well. But you've kind of discovered this new island that's like months away or whatever, and it's like medieval, kind of semi-medieval style setting, I guess. You got pistols and stuff, but like old school setting, and you the whole point is you and your cousin are going to this land. You're going to be like ruling over this new land as you're establishing a whole new settlement. And there's this idea that there is the fountain of youth or fountain of life there somewhere, so that they might be able to get a cure for this illness. And there's loads of weird creatures and stuff in this new land. So yeah, and essentially I've done the whole opening bit and now just got to the new land place. And the game is very impressive, but also feels a bit weak in some areas. Like in the town and stuff you're walking around in, it feels very full of life. Like there's loads of stuff happening and everything. But it's also very restrictive, I found. So it's not like Skyrim, for example, where you can literally go anywhere and do anything. A lot of it is like, you can't walk through this section. You can't jump, for example. You can climb up walls and bits. And you can jump across gaps. There are a certain distance, but you have to unlock skills to jump further gaps and things like that. And yes, it's restrictive in some areas. And also, it's cool in that, like, when you're walking around the town and stuff, if you go inside a building, the doors just open, you walk into the building. There's no loading screen or anything. And I thought that was actually really cool because you can just run around the city, basically, with no loading. It's great. But when you go to the bigger island, the island is massive. But when you walk from one area, like to the next one, it goes to like an area that says, oh, you now go to this camp. You basically go to this camp where you can sort of sort out your party and your equipment, and it loads up the next area. But when you go to the next area, it's not like you've just moved on a little bit. You've moved a whole chunk on the island. So you're not completely open to the whole island, if that makes sense. The areas are massive that you get to play in, but it's not like the full open world experience. And it's kind of cool. You have a little party of like 2 people with you, but it's not a turn-based game. It's all live action. So you are fighting properly. So I'm really impressed with it so far, but also like all certain things don't feel quite right. Like the controls get a bit twitchy at times, and the camera I found very twitchy. But yeah, so I might give an update next week on that, I guess.
Greedfall.
Greedfall, yes. Yeah,
Greedfall.
check it out. It's
the title of my prog rock side project's first album.
Nice. But that's it. So I guess that's our week. So we're now moving on to Scotty Moe's Mail Sack of Wonder.
Yeah, it's the mail sack. We got the mail sack. Beautiful mail sack. Oh, nope, that's wrong. That's very wrong.
That's right, it's the mail sack of wonder. I'm going to do that from now on so that the mic actually picks this damn thing up. So I'll just read them off. Twitter, Chandra Free at Spooky Chan. All I can think of is Christmas nights. I know that is Christmas theme. That is themed Christmas game, but one of the best demos ever. So what we asked was if you have any non-Christmas themed games that remind you of Christmas. So they said Christmas nights. And I replied on Twitter saying something like, that's a great pick. I did a whole side episode on it. I'm going to be streaming it this coming Tuesday. By the time this episode goes out, people will have hopefully watched that and joined me with that very chill stream. But that's what they said was Christmas nights. In Discord, we got EJ, who says, just like your pick shows, Yakuza always reminds me of Christmas. Yakuza 1, 2, and 5 all take place during Christmas. When you enter some stores and restaurants, there are Christmas carols playing, and there are Christmas decorations scattered throughout the city. During the credits of Yakuza 2, Silent Night plays. In Yakuza 5, there's a sub-story where a bunch of punks are beating up Santas in the city. Of course, Sajima ends up in a Santa costume and saves the day, including a heat action of him breaking a sleigh on a punk's face. Did not know about that one. Have you guys experienced that?
I've watched videos of it, but I've not actually played it.
I gotcha. And then also in Discord, Harry Milo says Snatcher and Shenmue definitely for me. I love games that takes place during Christmas. I also love the Christmas vibe Sega tends to put into their games, but there are certain games that I've kind of ritually played around the holidays. I really like sinking my teeth into a deep RPG around Christmas time, and for some reason, Mega Man games.
Yeah. So what? Just to be clear, while our question this week was non-Christmas related games that remind us of Christmas, I feel like these maybe fall into our category from the previous week, which was games you wouldn't expect to have Christmas in them. So these games all do have a little Christmas tie to them, but that's really cool. I think those are really good picks you guys have given a shout out for there. Definitely, Shenmue is one of the ones that as we spoke about last week. I think it's great. We just walk around and like, oh, Santa's there, like just randomly around Christmas time. If you're playing the game,
serves no productive purpose, but he's there.
Yeah, it's great to see stuff like that in the game, and yeah, the Yakuza game. It's been a long time since I played Yakuza 1 and 2. I did not remember them being at Christmas because I played them back on the PS2. But I'll take your word for that. I can't actually remember that being a thing. But I knew about Yakuza 5 with the Christmas missions, like with the Santa stuff, because that's just brilliant. I think that's a great little shout. Yeah, fantastic. And so that's it for the mail sack, is it, Scotty?
Yeah, I was going to say something that I forgot. Oh, they mentioned RPGs. I wouldn't be surprised if that maybe is chalked up to like, oh, my long break from school has started, so now I have time to like sit down with an RPG. I wonder if that maybe correlates with it, because that's kind of the reason I think of that is I only ever played through Panzer Dragoon Saga the first time during summer, because I don't dive into RPGs or JRPGs, and that one I was able to just zone out when I didn't have. This was when the game was sort of new, so I didn't have school or a job then. So that I assume that. I don't know about the Mega Man games though. Maybe you just got one for Christmas and you ended up playing it or something. Do you guys have any comments on those though? Either of those?
I mean, I always think of nights related to Christmas because of your streams for Christmas nights. It's one of those regular things that I would access, and I remember, and it's still saved as a clip on my in my Twitch account of me hanging out with you during one stream, and like right before you leave, I like ask you, I tease you about the trailer for the Sonic movie, because it was before they remade the CGI, so it was the horrifying CGI, and you're just like trying to sign off, and you're like, later, fuck you, Nick.
Oh yeah, I don't remember that at all.
I'll find it real quick.
Oh my gosh,
wow.
that was last year or what? I guess it was last year.
Years ago.
Wow. Huh. Okay. Yeah, I don't remember that, but that's not to say that. I mean, that's not surprising. I don't remember it. I say a lot of things a lot of times. So, yeah. Any last comments on that before we close up the sack, Graham?
Just great choices, great picks there. So yeah, love it.
Yeah.
Cheers.
So I guess that's gonna do it for the mail sack. Someday I'll remember the tune. Tones.
So that moves us on to our next section, which is our Picks of the Week. So as always, if you're new to the show, as always, every week we have some Picks of the Week, which can be something related to video games, movies, books, anything basically in the vague realm of entertainment that we've been enjoying over the last week. We want to talk to you guys about, because they may not be the greatest things in the world, but we've had fun with them. We feel like in this crazy lockdown world, you might have some fun as well. So let's crack on with it. And I will go to Nic Flair. What is your pick of the week?
So there is a series on Netflix that my brothers introduced me to that I wasn't sure that I'd be into, but I actually ended up really liking, called The Midnight Gospel. They are a series of podcasts. I don't remember what the original one is entitled, but oh dear,
I'm hearing us. Yeah,
that's okay. Sorry,
an echo.
It's okay. I've just muted it. Hopefully the echo's gone now.
Gotcha. Yeah.
Cool. Awesome.
So yeah, there are a series of podcasts that were cut down and made into these episodes, anywhere from about 26 to 40-ish minutes, and they're all really interesting because they're all are people who are pretty alternative. They're deep in philosophy. Their topics are like on self-reflection, on death, on forgiveness, and they're all really really interesting. And there's like a little mini story. It's very Adult Swim-esque. It's animated, but it's like not for kids, and it's covering heavy topics while also like people kind of die or whatever. Specifically, there's an episode where the main character is talking with this bird who is attached to this prisoner, and while the main character and the bird are talking about the process of trying to find peace with yourself and understand and grow as a person, this guy is trying to break out of prison, and he's in like a time loop situation where he dies and then comes back, and he's trying to break all the way out, and every time he dies, he comes back to the start. So it's very weird to watch, but it's also really interesting.
Okay. Yeah. Let's.
Chris has told us about this before, Graham, but I am wondering if he was talking about the same thing.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I feel like I haven't heard this. Yeah.
Does it look like Steven Universe?
Yes.
Okay. I think Chris just did a really bad job of explaining it then.
Right. Okay. Yeah.
Because I just looked it up. It is the exact same thing, but he just talks about going into different dimensions and like taking control over someone else's body, and that's all he said about it.
Right.
He did not,
okay.
He literally said nothing you just said about the show.
Well,
Yeah,
So, that's the setup. Is that he goes into different dimensions and whatever, but it's the context so that he can have these weird podcast style interviews with people, and they don't have to relate to each other.
Right. Okay. Yeah.
Okay. Interesting.
It looks.
Cool.
I just had a quick Google on it. It does look quite interesting. Yeah. This is. I feel like this is something that would never normally come into my realm of being. Like, even if someone just mentioned it, I don't think I'd really look into it as much. But yeah, it's what you've described. It is quite interesting. So
yeah, definitely.
Yeah. Scotty, have you got any questions or any further thoughts on that?
No.
Okay.
Sorry.
No, that's fair enough. Yeah.
I mean, it looks interesting. Maybe I'll check it out. I'm more inclined to because I know that it does have a plot, sort of. So.
Yeah, it's just like Nick. Is it actually quite depressing, or is it actually more fascinating and the stuff it goes into?
I think it's more fascinating. There's not really a coherent story arc. Mm-hmm. It's the guy. He goes into these universes and interviews people, and they are pretty heavy topics. So, like I said, self-reflection. There's a pretty interesting interview he does with somebody with his mom about death and accepting that and moving on, talking with somebody else about grieving and loss, forgiveness, all these very interesting philosophical topics.
Cool.
Okay.
Well, yeah, that's definitely more. I think that's definitely more interesting.
Chris Powell's description of it.
Yeah,
so.
that's definitely more interesting than what Chris mentioned before. Because now, when you mentioned it again, Scotty, and what he said about the dimensions, like, oh yeah, he did say something about that. So thanks for joining, Nick. Brilliant.
Yeah.
Thank you. You served your purpose. Love it.
Excellent.
So Scotty, what about you? What is your pick of the week?
Yeah, I couldn't think of anything because I started rewatching Stranger Things, and then we watched Die Hard last night. And I'm pretty sure anyone who listens to this podcast is familiar with either of those. There's nothing to be said about them. So instead, I thought last week we watched the Bill Murray Christmas movie Scrooged, which I think people forget about here and there. But Bill Murray is basically a money-grubbing TV executive that runs this company that has to put on this show for Christmas Eve live. And he is then visited by the three ghosts of Christmas, and it's Bill Murray. So it's good. It's funny. Maybe not entirely a family movie, so watch if there are children around. But that's all I want to say about it because it's from the 80s, so I don't feel like I could say much that hasn't been said. But Scrooge, if you need your Bill Murray fix this holiday, and not have it be a very Murray Christmas, which was kind of a weird special on Netflix. I didn't think it was that great. Just a bunch of stars throughout it, but Scrooge is a good time.
Yeah, definitely. I know about this movie. I have it on VHS. That's how old school I am with it.
Nice.
So I love it. I think it's a great movie. It's one of my favorite Christmas movies of all time. To be honest.
Okay.
Yeah, I put it up there. I put it high because it's one of those ones that. It's weird. It does kind of embody the spirit of Christmas you've seen in a lot of other movies, but it's, I can feel the way they do it is so different to any other movie. It's brilliant. It's so funny. I think it's just hilarious. And, it's just a great take on, if you don't know about it, it's a great take on the Charles Dickens, I've just forgotten the name of what it's called. The classic Charles Dickens Christmas Carol. Thank you. Right. Just remind myself. So it's a
You're
great take
welcome.
on A Christmas Carol. A modern twist. I say modern because it's now like 30 years old. So not really that long.
Right, yeah. And Red Jaguar in the chat says, I don't know if we mentioned this actually at the beginning of the show, but we don't have the chat on the video, just technical difficulties. So if you think we're all insane mentioning the chat, there is a chat happening as we record this through Twitch. But Red Jaguar said it's weird that I don't think of Bill Murray outside of Wes Anderson movies now. I don't know if that is not weird if you're being introduced to him nowish, because he has not done. I mean, he's probably in his late 70s now, so it's not surprising he hasn't done too much. We could have a Bill Murray podcast because he's one of my favorite actors, but
he's great. That's
not totally surprising, Red Jaguar. So I'm trying to think what Wes Anderson movies that would be. Steve Zissou and the Aquatic whatever of Steve Zissou, and I forget what Isle of Dogs is another one,
and also Royal Tenenbaums.
Oh, is that?
I think he's in that.
Is that Wes Anderson?
No. Yeah. Now you're double. Oh, God damn it! Is this going to be the whole TLC thing all over again? God damn it!
Oh, good fucking lord!
Oh dear, I'm just googling it now. Royal Tenenbaums.
Red Jaguar says Royal Tenenbaums definitely, but I'm sorry, sir, but I don't trust your opinion because you didn't know who Kurt Russell was until 3 days ago. So,
so yes, Royal Tenenbaums.
I'm just messing. Okay, cool. I'll add it to my list of movies I need to see. That somehow he's done so much and not been a main character that it's very easy to miss a Bill Murray movie.
Totally. I don't know if you know about this little factoid, which I've heard from 3 different sources now on like various podcasts and stuff I listen to. So I believe it's true. So I'm going to go with it. Apparently he doesn't have an agent and he doesn't have like a standard phone number to call him or something. So to get him into your movies, you kind of just have to work out how to get in touch with him basically. And he still may not say yes or no, but apparently it's like, unlike any other actor out there, like, normally you just call up an agent and go, hey, we've got this new Hollywood movie. We want to get Will Smith involved? And they're like, yeah, I'll check his calendar. Whereas Bill Murray's completely different. Like it's very hard to get hold of and has no conventional means of actually getting in touch, which I think is fantastic. I think it's brilliant.
That's 100% true. He confirmed it in an interview in the past couple of years. You just leave a voicemail on his telephone.
Yeah, it's so good.
It's funny.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that sounds interesting. I wonder if he's got like a proper like MSN or WhatsApp chat message going though with Wes Anderson. I was about to say I forgot his name, but yeah, Wes Anderson.
He also. I'm trying to find the interview because I don't want to completely steal that whole topic. But it was either the Today Show or something. But he also said in that interview that he did the Garfield movies because he thought it was that Wes Anderson, not that Wes Anderson.
Oh.
So he indirectly agreed to them, and he said that those are the only like ones that he wishes he could take back.
Wow,
that's awesome.
That's pretty funny. Oh my god, yeah, that is pretty embarrassing.
Okay, yeah, it is if you look up Bill Murray the Today Show interview, it's that one.
Cool.
Yeah, it's pretty decent.
Nice.
So.
Nice. Nick, do you know? Oh, sorry. No, go ahead. Go ahead, Scotty.
Red Jaguar asks in the chat, is that a Cartoon Network hat? No, it is a Ska-toon Network because Ska defines who I am as a person and it will never let me.
Awesome.
That's all I got.
Cool. Yeah, Scotty. Yeah, not Scotty. Nick. Sorry. Do you know Scrooge at all? Are you aware of this movie at all? Or
I think I looked it up real quick. I think I've seen this on TV.
Okay,
but it's not one that I've sat down and fully focused on. As opposed to like other Christmas carols, is it good? Is it grittier? Is it funnier?
It's grittier, and it's not a typical like we need to set up the tree. It's not a Hallmark movie. It's none. Really none of that. So it's honestly a good bah humbug, but turns around. It's sort of predictable, but it's fun because Bill Murray, I believe, really is the best at doing nothing.
Nice.
Yeah, definitely.
Okay, cool. Give it a shot.
So I am slightly. Oh wait, I just worked it out. Yes, good. Sorry, I was slightly distracted because I had to turn off my laptop because it ran out of batteries and I couldn't get up the chat window in my other stream thing. So yeah, now it's happening. Good. Sorry about that.
Live and happening, people.
Live and happening. Yeah, I didn't have my laptop plugged in and I didn't realize how low it was on battery. So
Glass
anyway,
behind the curtain.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, you got it. Graham's just got like 7 monitors showing nothing but Japanese right now in green fonts, I imagine.
Basically.
I'm in.
Yeah. Just Rad Jaguar says also Harrison Ford does nothing.
Oh yeah, he's
True? Well, actually, I do know
acting a little bit.
Right, I do know. I do know. There's a sorry that just ties into another little fact I want to know about Harrison Ford. Do you know one of the reasons why they killed him off in? Oh, sorry, spoiler alert! If anyone hasn't seen the new Star Wars movies,
who cares?
They're terrible. They're not good movies. But yeah. in I forgot what they're called now. The first of the new movies. Someone help me. Chat, help me. What is the new one where Han dies?
Disney trilogy.
Royal
Force Awakens.
Tenenbaums. Yeah,
Force Awakens.
Force Awakens. Sorry. Do you know why they wrote him out in the Force Awakens?
Because he asked.
It's because Harrison Ford apparently has never committed to a sequel for any movie franchise ever. So like when they first made the original Star Wars movies, he never committed to signing a contract to do Empire Strikes Back or Return of the Jedi. They just when they came to start making the movie, they're like, we've got a part for you if you want it, and he's like, yeah, I'll do it. Apparently he's never actually said like all the other actors were like, yeah, we're happy to sign up for like a 3 or 2 or 3 movies, but yeah, apparently he's never done it. And so for this one, they thought, well, I mean, we could just write him out basically. So they just what they did apparently. Because I know someone whose partner worked on that whole franchise for the new Disney ones. So it's like a nice little bit of factoid. It's like, wow, that's good to know and stuff. And sadly, I never actually got to go see stuff getting filmed, but yeah.
And then Carrie Fisher died, and they needed somebody for the last one, so he's there again.
Yeah, they wrote out the wrong people, basically. God damn it.
So, what did Kylo Ren say to Leia after that first movie?
In real life, or
just say I don't know or something?
I don't know.
Well,
look, Mom, no Hans. See you guys later.
So my pick of the week this week, I'm getting even more festive than Scotty, I'd say, with this one. So my pick of the week is a movie called Last Christmas, which came out in the UK at least last year in 2019 around Christmas time. It's now available. It is literally Last Christmas. It all comes around. Perfect. Yeah. And it's now available there's a streaming service in the UK called Now TV. I don't know if it's available in America yet, but it's a Christmas movie starring Emilia Clarke, who is probably most famous as Khaleesi from Game of Thrones, and a few other movies, like Terminator Genesis, I think she was in. That's basically it. That's what I can think of. Do you know who I'm talking about? Emilia Clarke? Yep, cool. The Dragon Girl from Game of Thrones. So
the more you talk about Game of Thrones, the less I know about her. So
then I don't really help you.
It doesn't matter if I know or not. Just it
doesn't matter. Going. She's a great actress. I think she's really good. And anyway, this is very much more of a traditional Christmas movie in a sense. She plays a girl who she really likes Wham, the band Wham, and George Michael. And it's set around Christmas time, and her life is basically a bit of a mess. Like the year before, she'd had an accident and nearly died, so she'd been ill for a while, and then now she's better, but her life's just basically screwed up. She's got a really dead-end sort of retail job, working in a Christmas-themed shop 365 days a year, basically, and
That's
she keeps screwing. Yeah, it's a really funny bit where this person's like, "Oh, you must love this job. You must love your job so much," and she's like, "Yep, it's Christmas." Every day of the year. I love it. So but she keeps screwing things up with her family and friends. Like she keeps moving from like couch surfing with her friends and keeps like screwing things up with them because she's a good person at heart, but she does things kind of a selfish way quite often. And she's trying to become a singer. So that's kind of her thing. As a child, she was a great singer and she wants to become a professional singer, but it's not really going her way. And yeah, I don't really want to get any much more into it, but I think it's a very funny movie. I mean, for the first half hour, I was like laughing my head off because I thought there's so many funny bits in it. It was just brilliant. It's very British as well. So if you like British stuff.
Is that on Netflix or?
So over here it's on something called Now TV. I'm not sure what it'd be on in America though.
Is that a channel or an app?
It's an app. So for channel wise, it's there's a company called Sky over here, and
gotcha.
they own Now TV. In Australia, it's called Foxtel. So it's kind of part of the Fox network in America. Sorry, in Australia. I don't know if there's something like that in America. I know you guys have tons of cable channels and stuff like that, so I don't know. But hopefully it'll come out on like either Amazon or Netflix or something for you guys. But yeah, Last Christmas, named after the hit Wham song. Or is it George Michael or Wham? I can't remember who sings it. I think it's Wham. Anyway, but it's brilliant. And Emma Thompson, who's in many things, she's in Love Actually and stuff. She plays her mum, and she's just hilarious. She's so good. I love her in everything she does. But yeah, it's a very British movie. I think it's very funny. I just want to say, check it out. Really, it's lovely, warm-hearted, and a couple of sad moments, I'd say, in it, but also a lot of funny stuff. I can hear someone playing the song Last Christmas. Is that you, Scotty? No, keep it going. Yeah, keep it going.
It was taking too long to load that I couldn't mute it before the video actually started.
It's available on HBO.
Oh, great.
Perfect. There you go. It's worth it. Worth this subscription.
The company everyone wants to be a friend of right now.
Oh, dear. So Red Jaguar says, Emilia Clarke is absolutely beautiful, but great actress. I think she's really good. I think the stuff I've seen her in, I've actually enjoyed her stuff. Like, she's been in a few things now. And yeah, I think Sky is owned by Fox now. That doesn't surprise me, to be honest. I feel like Fox owns many things. So.
Which is now owned by Disney, so great.
Yeah.
Oh, God. It's all comes around.
She has... I think she has a decent range. The things that I've seen her in is mostly Game of Thrones. I know she's been in a couple plays that were really well received. And oh yeah, she's in that terrible Star Wars movie. She has bad luck. She's in Terminator Genesis, and she's in Solo.
So okay, I'm going to go throw this out there. I thought Terminator Genesis was not that bad. And I also think the Solo movie was actually a good movie. So I'm saying it. I'm saying it, people. Like So for me, Solo was just a fun movie. Like it's like wasn't like the most epic or special movie, but I enjoyed it. Like, what did you just really not like it, Nick? Or
all of the writing seemed really silly, and I couldn't get away from it. Like,
okay, interesting.
It's and actually, I don't think Terminator Genesis is bad. As far as quality, I think it's okay. I just know that it's infamous for people hating working on it. Like Emilia Clarke in an interview was like, I really hope this movie is shit. Like, I do not want to work. Yeah. She talked about how she was like, I was miserable on set. And I just want this movie to fail because I don't want to have to work on this again, because the people who worked on it were terrible. I know that there was another movie. I'm forgetting what the other movie was, but Terminator Genesis was filmed at or near another movie that was infamous to work on, and the other movie actually made jackets that said, "At least we don't work on Terminator Genesis."
Oh, God.
Because of how miserable the crew and staff were. And I think Emilia Clarke has that jacket.
Damn.
No way. I didn't know that about Terminator Genesis. I know a lot of people didn't, for some reason, it wasn't received very well, but I enjoyed watching the movie. I was like, because I held off watching it. I watched it on one of the streaming services, and I watched it. I was like, I'm really enjoying this movie more than other Terminator movies. Like Terminator 1 and Terminator 2, amazing. Both amazing movies. I don't think anything could beat them. But after all the other Terminator movies I've watched, I've been like, eh. And this one, I was like, I'm enjoying this one. So, I don't know.
I'm in the minority with you there, Graham. I enjoyed Genesis.
Yeah, but I didn't realize it was bad to work for. Yeah. And so I still think the Solo movie, I think people need to give that a try. Even if you've heard it's bad, because I heard it was bad and I didn't watch it in the cinema. and I saw it, I was like, oh, I'm really enjoying this. I appreciate if you don't like it, that's cool. But when I was watching, I was like, this is like the fun Star Wars I remember. I'm just enjoying this. This is great. I also quite
Fantastic
like the storyline
Four.
of the characters. Oh, she's in the Fantastic Four.
No. It's
Oh, is that
Fantastic
the other-
Four that was filming alongside Terminator Genesis, and
Wow.
and Fantastic Four crew, like, despite being miserable, made jackets that said, "At least we're not on Terminator."
Wow. Okay. Yeah. 'Cause
Damn.
as a viewer, I'd rather watch Terminator than Fantastic Four, because I saw that movie
Yeah.
and I was just like, I thought, oh, it's building up to something. This is quite good. And then suddenly the movie ended. I was like, oh, well, that was a waste of time. Like, it was just like, I was like, most of that movie I was bored, but okay. Yeah, never mind.
Oh, Caesar's in the chat, and he sounds off here. From a hardcore Terminator fan, I've seen all of them in the theater and made an effort to see the re-release of the first one in the theater since I was born. After it was released, I can say that Genesis was terrible. However, this is coming from a hardcore nerd.
Wow, okay. So you prefer Terminator Salvation to Genesis? I mean, no judgment there.
Rise of
just,
Machines is fucking stupid, but whatever.
Yeah, Rise of Machines, I was like, this is fine. It's not great. But
What about the one with Christian Bale?
Was that Salvation?
Yeah, buddy.
Yeah.
He says, how much of a nerd? I legit can't watch Terminator 1 with its stereo mix. I'm not sure what that means, so...
I didn't realize it was
I need those
stereo mix
pistols
version.
sounding like shotguns, he says. Yeah, and the
Nice.
most recent one I liked all right, but it was like I could not take most of it serious after a certain point, but you know.
Oh, I haven't seen the most recent one, actually.
All right, I won't say anything.
Okay.
Yeah, she says nobody had a good time making Terminator, and I'm relieved that Genesis was not successful because I
Wow.
didn't want to have to keep working on it. And I love that this interview is capped with the paragraph. Fortunately for Clarke, Solo should course correct her blockbuster film career.
Oh, no.
Oh boy.
Oh, it's so
Whoopsie.
sad.
Wow.
Oh, to be in the past.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so... Yeah, so... Caesar says, I can tell because the pistol sounded like shotguns in a mono mix, and he'll post a video in the Discord. So anyone who's on our Discord, check it out in the Discord for the comparison between the Terminators. That's really cool. But man, I still say to people, give Solo a try, please. Go for it. And so that's it for me for my pick this week. Is there any more questions on that, or are you guys even vaguely interested in this movie? Because I feel like it's a Christmas movie. Try and watch it if you can.
I am actually. That sounds a little bit interesting. Like it's not directly Christmas, and somebody being miserable, like working in a 24/7 Christmas store, just has very BoJack Horseman-esque hijinks vibes to me. So I want to see that at least.
Okay.
Is it dry British style humor?
In some areas, yes.
Okay.
It's hard to explain. There's I don't know. I feel like if you enjoy like things like Love Actually and some of the humor in that, you'll probably enjoy some of the humor in this. And I will say the part of her working in the store isn't like it's not all surrounded about her working in the store, although that is a main element to her life. But I hopefully you enjoy it, Nick. If you can, give it a try, and if we'll catch up next week or sometime. We can have a more of a chat about it if you like.
I like Emma Thompson, so I'll maybe check it out for her. She's great in Stranger Than Fiction.
Emma Thompson's great.
Yeah, she's really good. And yeah, so that will do it for our picks of the week. And so that moves us on to our feature discussion, which we are discussing non-Christmas games that remind us of Christmas. So these are games that have nothing to do with Christmas in them, no connection at all, but for some reason, around this time of year, we start thinking, "Ooh, I want to play that game." And if you're in the chat and you've got some ideas, throw them out to us, because we'd love to hear what your thoughts are as well. But we'll kick it off with let's get Scotty going. Scotty.
I was going to request to go last.
Okay, let's get Nic Flair going. Nick, buddy.
Pew, pew. So I already talked about Knights and the memory. So all of my games are memory based. So that clip, which apparently Twitch purged my ability to find the clips that I made. So, Overlord Twitch, we're on the platform and the stream just cuts.
Fine with me.
I can't find that clip, but I was working at the time when I was watching Scotty's stream, and I had it. I was working at the radio station, so I had it on a monitor, and it was playing. It was playing.
Did that.
And I was just sitting there. The snow is outside. I can still picture it. It's a very white Christmas time, and so that's a pretty vivid winter Christmas time memory. The others are equally memory based. So I've talked so much about how much I love Knights of the Old Republic 2. It has nothing to do with that, but it is one that makes me think of Christmas because I got it for a Christmas present right before I went on a trip, a road trip to Florida. And so, we get everything set up for Christmas. My parents have all these presents out. My dad had been talking for the longest time, and I realized looking back that he was like messing with me. And he's like, "I want to get you a Madden game, like, because I want to play football with you. I want to be able to connect." And I'm like, "Please don't do that, please." and so he's like, "Hey, I got you a video game for Christmas," and I was like, "Dad, why?" And I open it up and it's Star Wars, and he laughs because I was just not expecting it at all. And man, that's a good memory. I hadn't thought about this in a while.
That's a really cool.
And so
classic dad.
He also got a portable DVD player. So there was a front for my younger brothers who were like children, and then there's a back connecting thing. And I looked under it, and it turns out I can hook up a those old digital outputs to it. So I was like, "Dad, can I set up my Xbox back here?" And he's like, "I don't know, that's a lot of work. Like, are you sure you want to do that?" And I was like, yeah. So I set up the Xbox. I plugged it into the AC power converter in the back. I plugged it into this tiny screen that's like, the size
so
of
you
the
were
phone. In a car, in a minivan. Using
I might have missed that part. I was
using
lost.
a screen like about the size of this journal here. And I'm playing. I'm like sitting like right here, playing Knights of the Old Republic.
There's a lot on the screen for that game.
Screen's tiny. I can't really hear it because I didn't have headphones, so I'm just like trying to read and just so excited. And it was a 16-hour road trip. So I was in there like just playing this game, and I remember too that I developed this habit of saving constantly, because whenever my dad would turn the car off, say to get gas, it would reset. It would cycle the power. So like I couldn't be in the middle of something. So when my dad's like, "Okay, we're going to the gas," I'm like, No, I can't have to be somewhere I can save.
A few more miles. Circle
the lot.
Yeah. So that's that. And then Yakuza, specifically Yakuza 4. When I was at college, I would not really have anywhere to. I wouldn't go home, visit family, and I didn't do anything. So there would be like a good 2, 3, 4 weeks where I was doing really nothing, going to work and whatever. So I remember being recommended to try Yakuza, and I found a copy of Yakuza 4 at my local GameStop. So I picked it up, and it was, again, wintry outside. I'm just sitting on my bed. My hamster at the time was in my lap, and I'm playing Yakuza, and I'm loving it. And like, the girl that I was seeing at the time like texted me, and she's like, what are you doing? And I set up, and I think it's still my pinned tweet on my Twitter. I set it up so that my hamster is like straddling the controller with its like little paws holding each of the joysticks, and I'm like just hanging out with Mio playing Yakuza, and just in the background it's Yakuza 4. So yeah, that's another one that reminds me of Christmas, even though it's just memory based. Yeah, that's the tweet.
It's Scotty's trying to hold up to the camera.
That's show up at all.
All I see is a bright white blob there. That's
the hamster.
I mean, you can link that tweet, I think, directly to the Discord if you want.
Awesome.
Yeah.
That's beautiful. I love that memory of your dad. That's so funny.
I hadn't thought about it for a while. I'm gonna have to tell him about it when I see him again.
Yeah, that's really cool. I love it when parents or brothers or someone just like does that to you, like sort of goes, "Oh, I'm gonna get you this." It's like, "Oh, please don't do that."
I'll share it in. I shared it in the Twitch there. You guys can look at Nick's pinned tweet
Awesome.
of the hamster driving the game.
Man.
Cool.
Yeah,
Those are
awesome.
fun. That's I don't think we ever had, for road trips, we didn't have that. That was not around when I was a kid, any type of screen that you could hook up. So we literally had, this TV still is sitting in my younger brother's, I only have one brother, my little brother, his bedroom at my mom's house. He's not there right now, but in his old bedroom is it's probably like, seriously, like an 8-inch screen, TV VCR combo, and that was literally sat in between the pilot seats of whatever vehicle, and we would watch movies on that.
Wow.
Like it probably has hookups in some way, shape, or form, but that the screen and everything didn't really exist back then when we were doing road trips. So yeah.
Yeah, in the UK, I think you could get. I remember you could get an adapter. You could plug set up a whole PlayStation system in your car, and like have like the screens mounted in the back of your car. But that was like thousands and thousands of pounds. I think you could get like these little TV set things that you could hook onto the back of seats. But again, they were like so much money. And in the UK, the country's so bloody small that a road trip is like an hour or two. So it's not really well. That's, I mean, for me to travel up to see my brother, it's like 4 hours, but it's not like epic like America or Australia or Canada or someplace like that where you have these huge road trips, and our cars are a lot smaller than yours. So it's great when I hear these stories of you guys doing epic road trips with these awesome things like in your cars.
That would have been, for us, it would have been like 8 to 10 hours probably to visit relatives because they live south of us. But if you drive 4 hours here, you could still be in Pennsylvania.
Oh yeah, for sure.
So
Still in Pennsylvania.
Was it like last week or the week before where you sort of mentioned how something in another state's like 2 hours for you, but something in the same state's like a 6-hour drive, something?
Yeah, you mentioned West Virginia. We're 45 minutes from the border of West Virginia, but the other town you mentioned in Pennsylvania was like 5 hours away. So
I love that. That's like me.
Oh, and speaking of that, Red Jaguar ass, I mean, you could drive to Edinburgh, right?
Basically, yeah.
That's
I guess actually that's about 8 hours away from me, roughly. But yeah, if there's no traffic at all, I could probably do that in about 6 hours. But yeah,
all right.
It's that's crazy. And I'm pretty much I'm quite close to the south of the UK, so it is almost the whole country I would be driving up.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay. Yeah. So I guess moving on a bit, my games that I've chosen are, I've got a couple of games I'm going to shout out. Oh, actually, sorry, Nick, did you have any other games?
No, that's it.
Okay, cool, good.
That's my memory.
I didn't want to step on your toes there. Perfect. Yeah. So my games are the Dreamcast 24-hour marathon special, which is Pen Triathlon, which I've got my lovely sticker on it still from when I bought it in the shop. Nick, you love it.
Yeah, I do.
This if for some reason you don't have this game or you never listen to our show where we talk about it, because Scotty and I both seem to love this game, it's a fun. It's like it's a 3D cartoon inspired racer type game where you're playing as these penguin creatures who are actually aliens, who are actually on an ice planet, an ice world, and you involve yourself in a
more than I do.
Triathlon of sorts. They call it a tri-isolon because it's all on ice. We're here, great pun there. But you do events where you run, you swim, and you slide on your belly. So that's the triathlon element. And I just think it's such a fun game. It's just really enjoyable. It's a great 4-player game. Single player and 4-player, brilliant. 2 players not, as from memory, 2 players not as good, but it's still a great game.
I think you can only race one at a time, or whoever the human is. You can only have that many racers in a So 2 players, also 3 players, still quite fun. 4 players, brilliant, and that's what we do in the Dreamcast 24-hour Dreamless Marathon. We play it 4 players, and it's just a blast. And it's a highlight of it for sure.
It's
no
just
Sonic
so
Shuffle,
weird.
but
what is?
Get out of it! Get out.
What is? Yep.
It's just wacky. It's zany. The only downside I would say to it is it's only got 4 tracks, really. You can adjust the length of the tracks, but there's only 4 of them, but the worlds are so beautiful. That's the thing, the visuals on this I think are fantastic. I think they're very underrated, so bright and colourful, and that's what makes me remind me of Christmas. I've got no title to Christmas really other than that. It's the colours and the aesthetics that make me feel just happy. I'm like, this is just feels like a little Christmas. It's like its own little sparkling Christmas tree lights just going off in a video game, basically. That's what it makes me feel like. I guess because it's all in ice, it's kind of winter, so that kind of does tie it in a little bit. But yeah, it's a great game. So yeah, we probably spoke about this many times, but Scotty, Nick, what do you guys think of Pen Pen?
Yeah, I like Pen Pen a lot. My introduction to it was for the Dreamless Dreamcast Marathon, so I'd never seen it before. And I mean, I had fun with it, and then I ended up giving up trying to win, just like sabotage the other racers. So, just like any racing game, really.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. I still stand by. I really think that it was a launch game for the US release. I really think that this game started as an adventure, like collectathon game, and they're like, shit, there's no time. We need to put this out. All right, let's make it a racing game, because there is because you do walk around and like jump in it for a very small portion. It seems very strange, but there's no racing game out there like it.
Yeah, exactly. I think it's so unique out there, and you mentioned that before about your theory there, Scotty, and we've never had that proven, but I think that could be a legitimate reason as to why it's like it is, and I love to think that's what happened. Just the almost the romance of being like, oh, we just get this game out, let's just change the entire thing. And one other thing I just want to touch on is the music. I think the music makes me feel very Christmassy as well. There's something about it, and if you're playing in single player especially...
Something like that. Oh wait, that was Ferris Bueller. Sorry.
Oh dear. If you're playing, I don't know if you guys have played it much in single player, but when you're playing in single player, as you progress through the tracks, if you get to certain areas, the music changes dynamically depending on what section you're going into, and there's like bits where it gets really intense, and it's because you've got to a special intense moment in the game, and the way they involve that into the game works really well, because if you stand on the same spot, the music doesn't progress until you get to the particular moment in the level, but the way it merges is so seamless. It works brilliantly. I love the way they do it. But yeah, and the other game, moving on swiftly, is I've actually got the second one, but the Clockwork Knight games, Clockwork Knight 1 and Clockwork Knight 2.
Oh, I've never played the second one.
So I feel like I prefer the first one for some reason, but the second one's still really good fun. But if you don't know about it, it's the first game was, I believe it was a Saturn launch title from memory, the first one.
Yep.
It is I guess it's a 2.5D platformer. So you move along a flat plane, like a 2D plane, or left to right, for example. You can go up and down as well. But there are 3D objects in it. So, I mean, for a Saturn launch title, it was kind of cool because you have things in the background that are in 3D and they suddenly just fall forward into you and stuff. And the graphics are pretty decent as well. But the whole idea, it's almost like a Toy Story world. You are these toy characters who are alive, effectively, and I can't remember the actual story of the second one, but in the first one, basically, this princess character.
Oh, sorry. Sorry.
Okay, this princess has basically been kidnapped, and it's up to you as you're this knight who is a clockwork knight, literally like an old school clockwork toy, one of those ones you have to wind up with a little key, and he goes basically to try and save the princess, and he uses his key thing as like a sword. So he's like this little knight in armor, and he like uses a sword, and you can actually wind up some of the enemies to kill them. Like you sort of
that's right.
It's just a fun. I think it's a very fun game, but I think the whole toy aspect really reminds me of Christmas and just the way it is. So that's a game that quite often I would think, even if I play it for just a little bit, like the first level, I'm like, get a bit of Clockwork Knight going, this time of year. But so Scotty, I assume you've had experience.
All right, I found the story for it. This is according to Wikipedia. So Clockwork Knight 2 immediately picks up on the cliffhanger left by Clockwork Knight. Chelsea, the princess, is safe and sound, but will not wake up as the toys not under the spell ponder just what to do. Chelsea is suddenly kidnapped again. Thus, Peppercorn is the knight again sets out to rescue her. So it's literally the exact same story.
Brilliant. Okay. It's a good way to round off the cliffhanger. Yeah, I haven't really. I've got Clockwork Knight 2 here, but I've not really played it that much. I've only played it little bits and pieces. But
I played the first one and I streamed it forever ago when I was doing my Panzer Dragoon runs, I think, or something. But the last boss of that game is batshit insane.
Yeah,
the first one.
That's one thing I remember from it.
I'm not even going to try to describe it. Just play the game, people.
Yeah.
So
That's so cool.
Second one's pretty pricey. It goes for like over $100 complete. That's probably why I haven't stumbled across it in my casual travels.
Oh wow!
Yeah.
Okay. Damn it! You can't play Saturn. Can you play? Have you got the ability to play European Saturn games? Because
yeah, I got the extra replay.
Oh, I picked this. I will try and get this for you, sir. I got this for £25 about a year ago. So,
well, if you stumble across it again, just snag me one. Jesus.
Yeah. Okay. I didn't realize it'd be that expensive in America. Wow. It's yeah. I'll keep an eye.
I don't know. Yeah, I've got a way to play import Saturn stuff. So keep an eye out for stuff. I'll keep an eye out for stuff for you if there's ever. The American market is not the way to go for Saturn, though.
Yeah, it seems that way. Nick, have you played any of the Clockwork Knight games at all?
I can't say that I have, actually. That's not familiar to me at all. So I'm interested. I want to see.
Yeah, it's a fun game. I wouldn't say it's like the greatest time ever, but there's something about it. It's a bit different, a bit unique, and a lot of fun. And
the aesthetics always reminded me of almost kind of the Disney games from the 16-bit era. Just kind of spongy and fluffy sort of kind of deal, you know?
Yeah, I guess that's true.
That makes sense.
I think the sprites they use do really remind me of that. So they've got they've got some 3D bits in it, but the actual main characters are all like kind of sprite work, but the animation's really solid and it's a decent game. But and just a shout out to the chat if you also have any non-Christmas games that you remind you of Christmas, drop in the chat and we'll talk about them in a second. But before that, let's move on to Scotty. What are your non-Christmas games that remind you of Christmas?
Yeah, so my first one's Jet Set Radio, or as it was released in the States, Jet Grind Radio. It was what I got one year for Christmas, that and Shenmue. Caesar, to answer your question real quick, he says, Scotty, do you have 13K Mexican pesos or around $700? I do not. Thank you, old car repairs. Anyway, 1 year for Christmas, I got Shenmue and Jet Set Radio. So today Scotty would say to young Scotty, man, you got some freaking good stuff. But as a dumb 16-year-old, I didn't care about Shenmue at all, so I tossed that aside, and I played the cool Jet Set Radio with Dragula and stuff. Yeah. I don't think I ever beat the game as a kid, though, because I don't remember seeing the end of that. The end of the game is just nuts and this weird psychedelic rhino nonsense that I definitely did not get to as a child, but I do remember having a lot of fun, because that game is difficult in spots, challenging, to say the least, and the controls don't do it any favors. But I remember playing the crap out of that. I probably still have on my VMU saved like really bad graffiti art that I made. But that was always a good time. But the other one that's a big one that was what my gut told me for this feature was Sonic 3D Blast. I do not have the Genesis version because that is the one that I do want to talk about. So the year before I got Sonic 3D Blast, I got a Sega Nomad, and that was kind of cool. But to even back up a little bit more, when I was a young buck growing up getting into Sega and video games, I basically had two friends. And one of them, Ben, him and I would hang out every now and again, but not that much. The other one, Tucker, shout out to Tucker because he got me into Sega overall. I really did not have any friends until like my sophomore year of high school. So, but in third grade, Tucker, who we would draw comics and we would like play Sega stuff and we would do whatever, play with Kinects. We were Kinects kids instead of Lego kids. To the point that like my mom thought I was going to be an engineer when I grew up and got a job.
Oh, wow.
Well, yeah. Showed her. Instead, I joined a band.
Take that, Mom.
Yeah. Take that, you and your CD player. But so anyway, like pretty much my life, like first, second, and third grade was hanging out with Tucker and playing games and stuff and like swapping cartridges. Graham, he got me into Zero Tolerance as well.
Yeah, he did. Yeah.
So yeah. So yes, that's the correct response. Anyway, third grade, Tucker and his family moved away to Florida. Like my one friend that I was kind of hanging out with all the time moved away. So that was a big blow to me. So a couple Christmases later, I guess it would have been like 94. I'm sorry, 95. Let me see. When did Sonic 3D Blast come out? Because it was the year before. I think this came out in 95, so he probably moved away in 94. So anyway, that Christmas, all I got was Sonic 3D Blast on the Genesis, which that was probably a $50 game. So, but for a kid not understanding the concept of money, like all I saw was like, all I got is one Genesis game for Christmas. This is bullshit. And then I opened up another gift, and it was a piece of paper, and I didn't really understand. And I'm like looking at this thing, and it has my name on it. And then my mom explained, that's a plane ticket to Florida to visit Tucker. So I was like, what? And there's a picture of me like doing a dumb little dance as a kid when I figured out what it was. Because how old was I I would have been 10 years old. I had never seen a plane ticket before. Like I didn't know what that looked like. So to me, it was just like, whatever. Yeah, paper with my name on it. I don't get this. So that was why I literally got Sonic 3D Blast and then a plane ticket. Wow. So I flew by myself to Florida, brought my Sega Nomad and my Sonic 3D Blast with me. Actually surprised Tucker. His parents picked me up at the airport. He didn't even know it was happening. So walked into his house and he was just like, Scott! And so that was pretty cool. But he was always a little bit ahead of me with gaming. So he already had a Sega Saturn and he had Sonic 3D Blast. He probably got it that year because that was the year it was out. But so I remember playing this game with him, like side by side, because he had it on the Saturn on his TV, and I was sitting there on the Nomad playing my Genesis version of Sonic 3D Blast. Can't talk, sorry. Needless to say, because I had zero load times, I was like a little bit further ahead than him. And but yeah, so Sonic 3D Blast kind of always reminds me of that reuniting with my best friend at the time. Playing that game next to him, and that was pretty much our Christmas break. So
that's awesome.
That's why I wanted to go last as well.
Fair enough. So, that's a Christmas miracle right there. That's
yeah. So that was
Christmas.
That was pretty cool. That. Sonic 3D Blast is the Saturn version. I will defend is definitely the superior between the two with the soundtrack and the bonus levels, but it's an okay game. It's maybe should be a part of any Saturn owner's collection, but that's my Christmas memory.
I've always been a fan of Sonic 3D. Both the Mega Drive or Genesis and the Saturn versions. Great game. I love it. And it's just a very different Sonic game. Although
it's not 3D, it's isometric.
Yeah, 3D. Yeah. Although right. I'm probably the only person in the world who actually enjoyed the Genesis Mega Drive bonus levels. I thought they were fine. I thought they were fun.
They're so easy.
They are very easy. That's maybe why I enjoyed it as a kid. I'm like, yeah, I can do this. I can actually get the Chaos Emeralds for this game. Because controversially, even though I think the half pipe thing in like Sonic 2 and the Saturn version of Sonic 3D is really cool, like especially at the time for Sonic 2, I don't enjoy it as much as everyone else does. There's something about it. I'm just like, yeah, this is good, but I'm impressed. But I didn't enjoy it as much. I don't know why.
Yeah.
It's like,
it's all right.
Maybe it's the difficulty I found. Like later on, it just got too hard, and you basically can't see what you're doing. Like going so fast, you're like, it's almost just like dumb luck that you miss the spikes. It's like, yeah, but
well,
yeah.
Caesar has a point there in the chat. Sonic 2 half pipe is also brutally hard and require too much memorization. Sonic 1 and 3's, I can't read that word. Levels do not require
special.
that.
I think it's meant to say special levels.
Yep, good job. You figured it out. Anagram.
Yeah. That's okay, Caesar. Awesome.
3D Blast, their bonus levels are high, is the half pipe again, but you're playing as 3D Sonic. It's the only part that is arguably 3D. And it's funny because that's like the same model they use in Sonic Jam's Sonic World and then in Sonic R. But all those combined, you can kind of see why they didn't end up doing a 3D Sonic game on the Saturn. But it's good. That's mine though.
That's brilliant. I love that. That's so cool. And just
I was terrified as a 10-year-old on a plane by myself, but I made it.
Yeah, I was about to say, like, I feel like that would not be allowed these days.
Probably not.
Putting a kid on a plane. Yeah, where are your parents? I don't know, at home.
The 90s.
Yeah, exactly. Home Alone 3, you're on a plane. going somewhere else. And that's your parents are awesome. I think that's a great little memory. And
yeah, it was a big. I mean, I think it. Like I said, I didn't have any friends, so I think it was that was probably very obvious as a child, and I was sitting in front of my TV more and not doing anything else. So,
yeah, it's. I've got almost like a reverse story of my best friend leaving. If you want to quickly hear that, I don't know, or would that be?
That's up to you if you feel like telling it. We got a couple replies from the listeners, but if you want to tell your story, go for it.
As this links in with yours, I'll quickly say my thing, but. Yeah, it's not a Christmas-related story, but weirdly, I was thinking about this the other day. And now you've just said it. It kind of almost shows the polar opposite of how my parents were. Like they didn't seem to care about me having friends. Essentially, I had a few friends down my street, and one of them was like a best friend from school. We went to the same. You'd call it elementary school. We called it primary school. We went to the same primary school, and literally, I'd like go around to his house quite a lot. We'd spend all the weekends together, we'd play on the street together, get on the bikes and cycle around and stuff. Just kid stuff. Go to each other's houses, play occasionally play video games or whatever. And then one day, his dad lost his job. He was made redundant, unfortunately, and they had to move house. So he got another job somewhere else, but miles away. So they had to move house. And I knew I was quite young. I was like maybe 7 or so. I was aware that he was leaving, but I didn't really fully understand it. And we played a few times before they left, because it was about a month or so before they got up and packed up and left. And then as I came to the weekend that he was leaving, and I think I was at someone's house a different day, and then the day he was leaving, basically, I was tidying my room, or my parents had told me to tidy my room or do something stupid like that. He came to the house to sort of say, "We're leaving in a few hours, can I see Graham?" And my parents were just like, "Oh, he's busy at the moment. He'll come and find you in a bit." I didn't even know that he'd come to the door, basically. And then it's the next day I was like, "Oh, I need to go and see Richard." And Mum was like, "Oh, he came round earlier. Yeah, he's they've left now. They've gone," sort of thing. I'm like, "Oh, okay." And it's like, did they leave the phone number or anything? And Mum's like, yeah. I've got the phone number, because my mum knew his mum and stuff, but I'd never phoned him. I never spoke to him ever again. I've never seen him since. So Richard, if you're out there,
call him now during the show.
But it's like, this is before mobile phones as well. So it's like almost like your parents had the phone and the phone book, and my mum just never seemed to keep in touch with her and never seemed to pass on. Like, it's just like, it's ridiculous. My mum never said, "Oh, Richard's leaving, so you can pop down and say goodbye." Never even got that bloody chance. It's like, "Thanks, Mum. My best friend, like, ever." And it's just like, but as a young child, you just kind of, I just didn't really know the finality of this situation. So yeah, I think your story touches me quite there, because it's like that's a beautiful thing.
That
it's
explains
so awesome.
Why you're such a loner now.
Basically, yeah. Yeah. So let's bring it back to the topic slightly with Caesar, buddy. Thank you for writing in. So yeah, he.
Well, actually,
he says,
Bread Jaguar had one. If we want to back up further,
we can go back up further. Okay. Let's see the chat. Where is it? Have you got it there? Because I didn't see it pop up.
Okay, cool. I got it here. Red Jaguar said Parasite Eve and Death Smiles 2. If no one knows Death Smiles, I sure do have a faceplate that came with that game for 360 when faceplates were a thing. Death Smiles is a bullet hell game, or a shmup, or a shooter, however you want to call them, but thousands of things flying at you, and you have the smallest hit detection spec in your character. I didn't even know there was a second one, and he doesn't really expand on it at all. But that one and Parasite Eve are his that remind him of Christmas.
I'm actually just Googling it. Okay, I recognise the box art for Death Smiles 1. Again, I didn't know there was Death Smiles 2, actually. I'm not a huge shoot-em-up fan, so those are not in my sphere, but looking at the visuals, maybe it's because of the colours and stuff. I don't know if there's actually a Christmas-related story to it, but just the visuals are very nice.
Boom!
Oh, whoa!
Scotty's I forgot it was behind me on my shelf. This is the first games box.
Wow.
And it doesn't have... The faceplate is on my 360, so it's not going to have...
but it's
Scotty,
got a bunch of audio listeners, Scotty is holding up a long cardboard, I assume, box, which is, like about 3 DVDs length, I'd say, width-wise. But yeah, it's got the
probably
the artwork on it. Miles?
Yeah, I
Google
think
that.
it's soundtrack and then the faceplate. Yeah, looks like it.
That's nice. Yeah, I didn't realize
It's a
it was
fun,
that big
weird game.
Cool. Yeah, Parasite. I'd love to. Red Jaguar. I'd love to know why those are Christmas games, because in my head, Parasite Eve, I can't think why that would be a Christmas game. Like Christmas reminds you of Christmas, but. Well, Nick,
Did it
what
come
do you
out
know?
around Christmas?
Oh, it might have done. Parasite Eve.
Christmas.
Oh, he says the Parasite Eve wasn't so much nostalgic for me. The Christmas stuff just seemed to be very out of place in the horror RPG genre.
Yeah.
Horror.
I want to say that Parasite Eve takes place in winter in New York. So I don't know if it's
Okay.
Christmas explicitly, and there might be even like decorations somewhere around. But I agree. I think that it's an intentional juxtaposition of like the cheery, Christmassy environment with like all these people exploding into blood monsters.
That's
Okay.
right.
That's perfect. Perfect example. Yeah, brilliant.
Do you want to read Caesar's, Graham?
Yeah, I can read Caesar's. So yeah, Caesar wrote, also for me, mostly because it was a game that I got for Christmas as a kid as well, is Donkey Kong Country 2. I don't have many Christmas games, to be honest, though. And that's perfect. These are not games that necessarily actually at Christmas. These are more games that are not Christmas related, but for some reason remind us of Christmas. So yeah, if you got it at Christmas or for some reason, I don't know, like Pen for me is just very colourful, and Clockwork Knight. Yeah, Donkey Kong Country 2, good shout. It's I feel like the visuals on Donkey Kong Country 2 remind me of Clockwork Knight. That kind of the way the pixels are, if that makes sense. Yes,
pre-rendered. I couldn't remember the name.
Yes.
That's the word.
That's the word. Yes, all pre-rendered visuals. Clockwork Knight mixed with the 3D, I guess. Caesar just wrote, I played Donkey Kong Country 2 way too much as a kid. Yeah, I do remember that being the game on the SNES over here that kind of everyone started to switch to the SNES on, like the Donkey Kong Country games, because before that I feel like most of my friends were Mega Drive friends, and then suddenly Donkey Kong Country came out and everyone's like, oh my god, this game looks amazing, and everyone started playing it and abandoned me with my Mega Drive lonely. Oh dear. I lost my friends, god damn it, over SNES. I lost my other friend because he moved away.
You had a hard childhood. Jeez.
Yeah, these are true first world problems, by the way. Just to bring it out there.
But okay, we just talked about how small your country is and where you live and everything. Do you know how far, like driving distance wise, Richard is or was at the time or anything? Do you know?
To be honest, I have no idea. I think he moved near Wales. That's all I can remember vaguely, which is basically effectively. It's part of the UK, but it's technically another country. That is a good 4 hours from where I live. So it's not like...
So it's not like a bike ride away.
Yeah,
Right.
Sadly. I couldn't just hop on my bike or get my rollerblades on and just go, hey!
Get your rollerblades on.
I have a friend who lived about 4 or 5 miles away, and I used to skate to his house with my video games in a backpack.
Yes.
And technically, he lived in the countryside. I lived in a town. He lived just outside the town in the countryside. And I skated on the main road to get to his house. And
That's
I did
awesome.
that a few times because my mum was like, I can't be bothered to drive you, sort of thing.
Some real Jet Set Radio vibes there.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I used to be a good skater,
Very
so I could
90s.
actually go quite fast. But yeah.
I went with some friends on a hiking trail, and I brought rollerblades, and they were like really serious hills and all this stuff. It was the worst. It was the worst idea. I never fell, thankfully, and like crashed and burned. But like going uphill was a nightmare. I basically had to like hold on to somebody who also rode their bike.
Oh, man. So, was the surface enough that you could actually skate on it at all? Like, I feel like what you just said, it sounded like it was muddy.
So they were paved hiking trails.
That's
So
kinda
it
cool,
was-
I guess.
Yeah, that's why I could hold on to the bike. The person who was riding a road bike.
Yeah, that's the you need to have a friend who's got a bike or something you can hold on to as a skater.
Yeah.
I had rollerblades super briefly, but then I got into aggressive inline. It's called that, everybody. I'm sorry, I'm not trying to be cool. It's cool. It's literally called aggressive inline. So like with grinding and shit, those are not made for travel. They are made for doing tricks. So anytime people would do stuff, I'd be on those and I'd just be like, guys, I can't go far. Help.
Yeah. Actually, while we're on the subject, not that long ago,
Jesus Christ! Did you just buy some? Did you buy soap shoes or something? What's going on here?
My gosh!
So I bought
Why
some
do they have
wheel.
three?
It's a new thing. It's since like a year ago or so they discovered that having 3 bigger wheels, these are bigger than normal, make you go faster and turn better. So
That's so funny. There's new rollerblade tech.
yeah,
Oh
it's
my
like
gosh.
I've been skating for years as a child. And
Commercial now, them lifting these out of a vat and they're being dry ice everywhere.
yeah,
I mean, quarantine does crazy things to all of us, people.
I'm looking up men's roller skates right now.
Fuck me.
So you can't. These are not designed for doing aggressive stuff on, so you can't grind on them because they've got no grinding bit in the middle. But they are designed for more casual stuff and also going more off road and stuff, so bumpier trails and things like that. So yeah, I picked them up and my plan was to use them and like get some more exercise in. But I got them up just before winter hit, and it's been really cold. And I went out one morning, and I came back after like half an hour. I was like freezing and dying. I'm like, this is not for me because I'm so unfit as well. So maybe in the summer I'll start skating a bit more. But yeah, there you go.
Graham, I don't mean to call you out right now, but the only 3-wheel options that I see are aggressively more expensive than the non-3-wheel options. Are you getting in on this? Like, is this?
Is this it? Is this the new thing?
It depends. Here's the thing: if you're really into your skating, these are not as expensive as some of the proper aggressive inline skates because you get ones which are way expensive, but they are more expensive than the standard 4-wheel ones. That is true.
Oh my gosh!
But I mean, I was happy to pay. I was happy to pay for these ones. They weren't too.
Yeah.
They weren't too expensive. The ones I picked up.
Yeah. I don't mean to blow up your spot, but I was just like, yeah, okay, I could maybe get back into these. Where's those cool 3-wheel ones? And this one that I'm looking at is like $300, and I was like, what the heck?
So I think I paid about £130 for my one. So I'm not sure what that is in dollars.
150 about.
Caesar just says, pay more for less wheels. That makes sense. That's true. Although the wheels are bigger, so maybe you're getting more wheel for your money. I don't know.
Yeah.
That's the
More
monster
wheel
truck
for your money.
excuse.
I just want to imagine, like, I'm trying to mentally picture the rollerblade guy sitting there, and like his peers are like, you got to give up on the 3 wheels, man. We've been doing 4 wheels for years. It's the way to go. And he's like, no, I've got it. I know that 3 wheels is the answer. Just back and forth the tech. Oh man.
Yeah. Just one final thing to go back on topic. Red Jaguar says the NES console in general reminds me of Christmas because I received it during the holidays. I think a lot of people get that way for consoles they get for Christmas and stuff. It just reminds them of that time of year. That's a lovely thought.
If anyone really wants to get into the science of rollerblades, the anime Air Gear is decent. The manga gets fucking crazy science for rollerblades, people. I dropped out of it, but fuck.
Wow. Okay. I'll be interested to hear.
That's so funny. Oh my god.
Are you saying shut up because you know it, or just that shut up because I know this?
Because just the concept, that's what I've always understood about anime. Is like they latch heavily onto a sport and like dissect it. Like that's why I like Shokugeki so much, the cooking anime. Up until my friend told me because I dropped off for a bit. He's like, yeah, towards the end it stops being about cooking theory, and then it's a lot of just random bullshit, like a guy who cooks with chainsaws. It's dumb. But like early on, they like get really into the science of cooking, and like it's like that about cars, and there's anime and manga about all these different sports, and they talk about it and the actual scientific and backed theory. Because I remember it was like Ippo is a boxing one, and they treat Southpaw like it's some mythical thing, and it's just like, no, people who just box left-handed box Southpaw. It's not that uncommon. But then you've got apparently an anime manga where they're like getting into the science of aerodynamic rollerblading. It's just so funny to me.
Oh wow. Okay. So that cooking one, I feel like a friend showed me that quite recently. And do they almost get, I don't know how to phrase this in a in the most family friendly way, but do they almost get sexually aroused by the way they describe how they're cooking stuff?
Yeah.
Are you asking if someone gets aroused in an anime, Graham?
So the guy who made it, I believe, came up from originally making like hentai, like porn.
Right. Okay.
So his draw was like, yeah, I'm gonna be making this very cooking focused thing. And they're like, yeah, I don't know if that's gonna be good. And it's like, yeah, but everybody's like ridiculously attractive, and when they really like the food, they like get naked and explode into orgasmic bliss.
My friend showed me a clip of it. It was the most ridiculous. Like these bad guys came to like take on this guy. And I think they had guns and stuff.
Yeah.
And he's like talking about cooking. And he's like making some food. And they're like,
Yeah.
"Oh my God!" Ah!
Yeah.
Like the snake's like, ah! It's just like, what?
Yeah.
I'm just watching. Dude, what the fuck are you watching? But it wasn't. They didn't show any nudity as such. It was just very, very implied. But wow, I was just like, this is. I'm done. I feel like I'm not part of this world anymore. You don't understand.
Yeah, it's out there. It's strange.
Incredible. Wow. Caesar just says people in anime get aroused almost as often as people watching them. Well, fair comment, I guess.
Don't need to touch that one.
Yep.
No.
That's what she said. And okay, with that, I guess we're coming to the end of our show. So we went off topic there a bit, but hopefully, not too bad. Anyway, thanks everybody who's been watching or listening. Well, not listening, but for listeners at home, this is going to go out as an audio show. We are going to put this on YouTube as well afterwards. But thanks for those who've stayed with us live. You've been great. So Red Jaguar, Caesar, Kusanagi, I can't remember who's joined in the chat, but TJ Kitsune, yes, and Iron Chef, thank you for joining us as well. So Scotty, do we have any announcements before we leave, or any side stuff?
What we're going to do since we're on Twitch right now is we're actually going to raid Game Tracks. He's an awesome retro gamer. He also mods Game Boy Advances, but he's playing Streets of Rage on the Master System. So stick around and hang out with him, guys, if you want to still BS on Twitch and stuff. He's good people. For those watching live, I will be streaming Christmas Nights into Dreams, my annual stream this coming week on Tuesday, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I just played through the demo's not that long, but we're going to unlock everything, hit up some Sonic 3D into Dreams, whatever that insanity is in that game, and enjoy that music and stuff around it. Otherwise, we've got streams almost every day of the week. We're going to start posting that regularly on Twitter so everybody sees what games we're playing, what's coming up. In terms of the website, we've got a review for Bubble Bobble for Freedom. What the hell is that game called? For All or something that Antichrist just reviewed.
I can't remember.
Go find out what he thought of that. I just reviewed Puyo Puyo Tetris 2. Go find out what I thought of that. And Graham's got his review coming up for Arcade Racing Legends on the Dreamcast.
Yes.
That's everything that's going on, though.
Cool.
Thank you, Nick, again for hanging out with us.
Yeah, thank you very much.
Sure.
Yeah, Nick, do you have any quick announcements or anything? Like, where can people follow you or anything like that?
Ooh, I mean, if you really want to, like I said, like it's not a joke. Internet hermit for life. My goal in 2021 would be to get back more into streaming and doing things, but like this PC's it's not happening. I'm not going to be streaming and playing anything on it. Maybe I'll play some games. Might purchase Empire Sin and just stream that a bit. But if you really want to follow me, you can follow me on Twitter, on Instagram, on anywhere worth finding me, at the Nic Flair.
Perfect. And people can see the picture of your hamster straddling a control pad.
Oh yeah.
Perfect.
Oh yeah.
That's what I'm there for. Lovely.
Yeah, when we started talking about hentai and stuff, I noticed that your guinea pig ran away.
Oh, she knows. She's like, oh no, this conversation again.
Oh dear. Yeah. Cool. Well, again, thanks everybody for watching. Thanks for listening. Thanks for joining us in the chats. You've been awesome. We've been Megavisions and Nic Flair. So thanks everyone. Be excellent to each other.
Yeah, hang around and go hang out with Game Tracks. He's good people. Thank you though, guys. So don't hit anything, Graham. Don't stop streaming yet. All right, we're raiding Game Tracks. Peace.
Ho ho ho. Later. Fuck you, Nick.